really give a fuck about me.
What's going on, you badasses? Good to see you again. Good to be here with you again. This is Hammerhand, of course, the MGTOW monk. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as soon as it gets here. Very, very, very good to be with you one mo again. Yo, man, yo. Let me enlighten you on a couple of points. I just want to know what it takes to expose a cuck. What does it take to expose an individual that has blatantly and very forwardly admitted to ripping men off, to misleading men, to misguiding men? That person that leads the other man around by the nose, the unwilling, sometimes the unknowing, what does it take? What does it take to accept that that person is standing there with you, right beside you, holding your hand? One hand on you, one hand in your wallet, right? It takes a lot. It takes a lot for people to believe that. It takes a lot for people to accept that. And in the fallout of Jack King Cuck Murphy and his meltdown with Sydney Watson and the little goofy host that she has there on that show that obviously wasn't too interested in coming to her defense and stopping somebody from verbally assaulting his co-host. Not that I have much love for Sydney Watson. I don't. You know what she is. She's a tradcon. Not a very good one. But I stumbled onto a podcast yesterday. Chrissy Meyer. I don't know if anybody knows who Chrissy Meyer is, but I'm going to tell you who Chrissy Meyer is. Chrissy Meyer hangs out with Nerdrotic. You know, she associates with geeks and gamers. She fancies herself to be a comedian. Now, I've never seen any of her stand-up or her comedy acts, so I don't know. And I'm not going to run in on her. You know how it is, man. Women try very, very hard to be funny, and they rarely are. But if she's funny, I'll laugh. If it's cool, I'll laugh. But she was on a podcast with a few other women. She was on it with Anna, that Star Wars girl. And she also has those same familiar people hanging around in her circles. Ethan Van Sciver, the Quartering. They like to rub shoulders with Jeremy Hambly. Interesting stuff. But you see what's going on there, right? I'd like to show you something and take a moment, listen, and absorb it.
Why should she give a fuck about you? Why should anyone?
Shit.
Why are you entitled? This is the problem with modern men. They're so entitled. They think that they deserve women's time. And, you know, our time is more valuable than the modern man. We only have about 20 years of being able to procreate. And here you are acting entitled as if your time is valued the same as a woman's. And your time is not valued the same as a woman's.
So how much time should I give?
As much as she requires, because you're a walking asset. Your value is based on how much you can provide to a woman as a man in order to be high value. And right now, you're not providing a lot of value. And it seems to have been a deep-rooted issue from the start with your mother.
I never thought of it that way. How would I...
You're wasting my time right now. Talk faster. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. My uterus is dying.
So easy to see, isn't it? Now, this woman was on that same cast with Chrissy Meyer, with Anna, that Star Wars girl, and they were all running cover for Jack Murphy. Meyer will come out and say, well, I knew Jack. I know Jack. He's a good guy, and he tries to help men, and blah, blah, blah. And then some article came up, from 2015. Maybe he's a different person now. Maybe he is. Maybe if he was a different person, he wouldn't have imploded when he was confronted with that article of cucketry. Maybe he wouldn't have done that. Maybe a vast percentage of his personal wealth comes from stripping the skin off of men. I'm just saying. So, gentlemen, I'm going to get up in these comments real quick. Oh, and big shout out. What was it, a $5, $10 super chat from Mr. Dickenballs. Big shout out to Mr. Dickenballs. You can bet your ass that these people going forward who are dropping super chats are no longer going to be guaranteed a read because of the super chat. This is going to change all of that. And you will see how people will run cover for the morally and ethically bankrupt amongst us. And it's going to be up to you. And I'm pointing that finger at you, all of you. It's going to be up to you to understand how to identify people that are morally and ethically bereft, that have no values and no principles. Glad to see all of the folks in the house. Jim McIntosh, Master Wrench, MGTOW Life, Master Wrench, Success Pool Endeavors, Master Wrench, Mr. Hate Vicious in the house. In Fantasy Die, Master Wrench. Good to see all of you, folks. Good to see all you. Sir Yeetus, Warbander in the house. Give me a second, man. I'm going to strip this fur off. And it's a little warm in the house and unseasonably warm outside. So I'm going to take the little jacket off and get comfortable. And then I think that we can talk about this a little bit. Mr. Hate Vicious, never pay for advice or ask advice. There is a campus inside all of us to guide us. This is very true. This is very true. Booker T, that's Brittany Venti. Yes, I know who Brittany Venti is. Sitting on a panel with Chrissy Meyer, Anna, that Star Wars girl, and then their familiars, their associates out there in the world. Who were their associates again? Nerdrotic, The Quartering, Ethan Van Sciver. Now, I'm not saying that these folks endorse this kind of cover running bullshit, but what you do find and you do see more and more and more are women that are unabashedly unashamed of running cover for people that use, abuse, and endorse their style of life. Their style of life is a very contradictory one. Where have all the good men gone? Where'd they go, baby? Oh, they're not here anymore. Would you like to fuck? No, you're not a good man. Up is down, down is up, black is white. Cats and dogs living together. Mass hysteria. Ghostbusters. Oh, did you hear about Ghostbusters 2016 being left out of the new anthology series that has been dropped by Sony and Warner? That was pretty cool. You know, the little light in the feet director, Paul Feig, whatever the fuck his name is, out all over the twatter sphere. It's got to be a mistake, man. It's not right. We're all Ghostbusters, man. Yeah. No. We're not all Ghostbusters, and we're not all equal. And isn't it funny? It's humorous, and it's amazing to me how stupid people are. But it never ceases to amaze me. Oh, gents. 188 of y'all in the house, man. 103 Fonzies. That's outstanding already. I'm digging on that. Pretty cool shit. Oh, I've got another one for you. You tell me. Do you want to see it? It's a little on the longer side. I'll break in and address some points, and I can show you that one. I can do it right now. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go grab it real quick. And, yeah. Bang, bang, bang. Let me go find it. I can't find it. Oh, man. Where'd we go? Where'd we put it? I'm thinking I misplaced that video. Oh, well. That's 127. That's 113. Well, I might have misplaced it, gents. Give me an opportunity to... Uh-oh. There it is.
You guys are caught up.
No, I want to know though.
So
I saw the clip.
Okay. See the crew here? You see the crew, don't you? We're going to get that one off of there. Thank you very much, guys. You see the crew, right? Anna, that Star Wars girl. Brittany Venti. Chrissy Meyer. And this chick on the bottom left, I don't know who she is. But all of these folks have some pretty deep connections with all of the geek culture out there, right? Now, whether it's 1 or 2 degrees separation doesn't interest me at all, because all of them somewhere down the line appear with one another, and then they cross-pollinate. Oh, yeah. That is exactly what they do. Char Aznable. Oh, my God. Please warn me the next time that 304's voice nearly gave me syphilis. Man, that's some powerful, powerful voice, ain't it? All right, gents, we're going to go through this one, and let's figure out what we can figure out. I'll stop it on interesting points, and then we'll dissect this piece of shit.
So the best that I understand it is that, like, Jack Murphy, who's his whole like online presence and in real life presence is like pro masculinity, kind of like pro traditional gender roles, but also pro like men feeling good about themselves and getting stronger and community building and just like.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with men having their own spaces exclusive to themselves, right? You're the only gender out of the two. I'm sorry, folks. There's only two. You're the only gender out of the two on this planet right now that is not allowed to segregate, that is not allowed to have a space for yourself and your kind, that is not allowed to talk about your issues, your life, and the way that things are going down with you.
Building up men, because I feel like, you know, we live in a world where men are constantly being torn down. And but like, great guy, friend of mine, friend of a...
See, great guy, friend of mine. But 5 seconds earlier, what was she saying? Sort of kind of builds his brand on X, Y, and Z like she doesn't know. She knows. Gentlemen, this is what we call obfuscation. Obfuscation. This is understanding what the problem is, knowing what the complaint is, and then running cover for the complaint.
Elijah's as well, and he's done like Tim Pool a bunch. So he was on Elijah and Sydney's show, You Are Here, at the Blaze on Friday, I believe this was, and Sydney brought up, I guess there was an article that he wrote about.
And we all know about the article, the cuckening. We all know about it. We know what it is. Gentlemen, I told you at the beginning of this year that we were going to go out of our way. I was going to go out of my way to root out these fucking fakes and these frauds and these people that are taking advantage of young, vulnerable men that are lost, that don't understand what's happening to them, that are suffering betrayal, betrayal of a monumental type, especially the kind where you wake up one day and you go from being a couple with a problem to nothing, and you find out your kids aren't yours. Yeah, it's that real. That makes you want to blow your fucking brains out. If you have love for your children, love for yourself, love for the idea of having a family, that makes you want to kill yourself. And they'll laugh at you for that. They'll smile right in your face. Like Brittany Venti says, "TikTok, TikTok, you're wasting my time. My uterus is drying up. You're a utility, motherfucker. Get used to being a utility."
About after his divorce, I think he was like in the lifestyle for a few years and doing orgies and like very open relationship and all that, and every combination, whatever. And so I guess there was a blog that I was trying to find, but I haven't found yet. A blog.
Oh, he deleted it. It's like archived. I can see if I can find it for you.
Blog.
See, they're aware. They are aware. They've been doing some looking. And they've been trying to figure out how they're going to run cover for this guy that they want to continue to be in this circle, that they want to continue to represent men in the way that they think that men should be. Now, Venti will actually, which is astonishing to me, later on in this, she'll put up a little bit of a fight, but not much. Not much. There's obvious contradictions, and we'll explore those as we go forward.
I have the
About
archive.
how
I have the
he-
archive link if you need it too.
How like his wife
there
or
you go.
girlfriend at the time like banged another dude because they were like in this open relationship. So I guess people were asking, hey, ask Jack Murphy about like his cucking situation or about his cucking article.
Wasn't it like a super chat too? Like she was reading a super chat.
She brought it up, I think, via super chat, and then he's like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, he was kind of, and I think her attention was more on the super chats than, because if she had been like full focused on him, maybe she would have picked up like, oh, he's trying to like hint at me that he.
So see, there's a little weirdness here. If she had been full focused on him and she wouldn't have read the super chats pay your fucking bills. The super chats pay your bills. They will go on to talk about this later on in this little episode here. It's about 20 minutes long. I don't know if we'll do it all, but I think that we probably should, so that you can see, hear, and smell what gynocentrism is. You all know what it is. You recognize it. But when you're listening to this pack of broads sit here and talk the way that they're talking, they don't recognize it. They just understand that they, compared to you, are superior life forms. They know that. And that's why they're so pissed off and bothered about the world not doing what they tell the world to do, because they've been told for decades that, it's your Kmart, it's your Walmart, it's your Federal Credit Union. You can just go in there and manhandle the fuck out of anybody. We're here to serve, baby. We're here to serve.
That we should move on. But then she read another super chat that was like bringing it up again, and she asked again, and then he got upset because he thought she was being mean when really she just
Wasn't paying attention.
alluded her, and then he was like, fuck you.
Oh wow.
Let me find, oh, is it in the private chat? Which one of these links? Is it either one of these?
The top one is the video, and then the bottom one is the article.
Oh my God. You guys are so fast at the internet. It really amazes me.
Oh man, they must have gone to STEM school. They're just educated, baby. Sit back and watch the new man work. Successful Endeavor says, Hammerhand, you said behind the scenes that they exposed themselves, and you weren't wrong. No, I wasn't wrong, and I wasn't the only one saying it. There were a few of us out there saying, you give these motherfuckers enough rope, they will hang themselves. And they do. They always do. Look, gang, the intranet, the interwebs, photo sites, dating sites, they are forever. They're forever. You don't need very much information to go out there and bang away and find somebody and get something on them. Something that you think is going to harm them or damage them. That's absolutely for sure. That's what people do. So Murphy has come out on Tim Pool, of course. Now, Tim Pool, you know how I feel about Tim Pool. He's middle of the road. He's always middle of the road. I've never seen another motherfucker with as many subs as his make a point, waffle, sabotage his own fucking point 2 sentences later. He does it consistently. Consistently. Milquetoast Pool is what he is. That's what he is. And when he gets mad and angry, I start to laugh. You know, when he's got DJ Self-Hater on the fucking channel slapping microphones talking about how badass he is. I laugh at that too. Because it's laughable. It's laughable. It's some shit that you would see in Beavis and Butthead or Ren and Stimpy. It's almost not believable.
Sometimes. Okay, let me pull this up. And I know this isn't very simpy, but like this just happened. Okay, here we go.
I mean, you could argue a cuckold is kind of simpy.
Yeah.
Kinda? What do you mean, kinda? It's one of the ultimate forms of sympatry. Being a cuckold, running around watching other males bed your bitch, and then you get perverse pleasure out of being emasculated by that because she's gracious enough to hang around and stick with you, homie. That's real love right there, men. Real love.
Okay, true. Okay, WTF. Jack Murphy live. I know I'm risking a block. I don't give a fuck. I stick up for you. Da, da, da. Okay, here's the clip. This is just somebody else who tweeted this out.
As Mr. Dickenball said,
Could you please clear up the cuff article you wrote?
I am not going to talk about
Again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now. Why are you doing this to me?
See that look on his face? Do you see the reaction? He does not know what to do when he is confronted with something that is diametrically opposed to his business model. It is antithetical to his nature to be an alpha male, a so-called alpha male. Really, when you say alpha male, now, what are you really saying? You're saying somebody that thinks for themselves. That's the truest alpha, if you want to be real about it, is somebody that thinks for themselves, that is not under the influence of vagina or brainwashing or state influence, sponsored narratives. And look at old Sydney. I don't think that Sydney really understood what she was reading. Clearly, she didn't. She didn't understand what she was reading. She was reading a super chat because they were paying to have the super chat read.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
How is that common sense?
Fuck you.
Elizabeth.
Heartfelt.
Elizabeth. Okay, so I feel
What
like
an ass.
more context.
That was
is
really
needed.
shitty.
This is a very short clip, so it's like if you don't know anything about the situation and you just watch this, you're like, oh, he was very shitty, and what the hell led up to this? So I wish there was a longer clip of this.
Yeah, I wish I could see more because you're right.
I
And that is
think
one
there
thing that
is.
always annoys me about. Oh, is there?
Well, he says fuck you to her a few more times than that, but
Wow.
yeah, he like goes off. I watched one it was on Flashcast last night. Let me see if I can ask one of the guys for the link.
I have a question.
The thing is he's not. I mean, I've known him for a few months. I really don't. I know him to be a very.
See, I've known him for a few months. You know, and this is roughly the comment that I left on her channel. You know the image that he sells to you. You don't know him. You don't know him. You don't know that there's a pack of these ravening wolves that run around in sheep's clothing, robbing, beating, and stealing men blind. You don't know that, and you don't know him. And he's not the only one. And we will get the rest of those motherfuckers that are grifting around. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Men that come out to the manosphere, that show up on MGTOW, that show up on Monk's side or Red Pill side of things, do you know what they want? They want answers. They want clarity. They don't want to be in pain. And I don't want them finding these cocksucking motherfuckers in a very literal sense with this piece of shit. I don't want them finding these guys and having these guys lead them astray. These guys cashed in their morals and their ethics a long time ago to get paid.
very good guy, and I think that he overreacted, but
I have a
feel-
question.
yeah.
So since you're a host, what would you have done if you were the host and he said that to you?
Okay, if
How
I
would
were
you
in Sydney's
reacted?
position or Elijah's?
Sydney.
Okay, so I'm like a people pleaser to a fault, and I think I'm also like when I feel like I've upset somebody, I go into hyperdrive. So if I was detecting like wow, I'm getting an overreaction or I'm getting a lot of intensity from a guest, I would drop everything. Me personally would drop everything and be like, "Oh my god, I am so sorry. Like, did I?"
Why? Why? Why would you allow those things to go unchallenged? Why would you not answer the call? I'll tell you why. Because that's a female trait. 9.99 times out of 10, that's a female trait. Sydney Watson did the exact same thing. She was just a little more fluttery about it. Why would you allow somebody to get on your show, any show, and down talk you in such a way and not challenge that? Not find out where it came from? Because there's money to be made. Hold on a second. me, money. There's money to be made. And they know that if they keep rubbing elbows and brushing up against each other's cocks in these fucking live streams, that there's going to be views. They know that. Do you see how many people still tune in when Jack Murphy is on Tim Pool or Jack Murphy is anywhere that he's at? A lot. Quite a few. Now, he's got a big problem. He's got a big business model problem now. And I saw him come out on Pool yesterday, I guess it was. Day before yesterday, maybe. Talking about how this was this and that was that, and these are trolls, and they're just trying to take me down. And nobody's trying to take you down because you were never up. You were never up. You just got a good fucking Joker game on, a good fool's game. A buffoon does what you do, Mr. Murphy. A buffoon. You have no shame, so it's clear that your morals and your ethics are compromised. Your values and your principles you wipe your ass with. If you even know what they are, I'm sure that you don't.
What did I miss? Like what I would try to like clarify is you really don't want to talk about this. And then there's part of me that there's like the therapist in me that would be like, oh, let's talk about what about this like triggered you. Like, why don't you want to talk about it?
What triggered him was that he was being presented with his true nature. I made the analogy not too long ago in a video in the Cause and Effect series that when you stick a mirror in front of a vampire, it's terrifying because they see nothing looking back at them. It's the same thing with Murphy. It's the same thing with every manosphere fraud that's out there. And there's a fucking bunch of them.
About this? Is it because you don't feel like this blog or this thing doesn't reflect your current beliefs? You've changed over time, and this kind of like, I hate saying the word triggered, but I would want to get into the why, because I feel like that makes for an interesting show to get into like why do you have all these feelings about it. But I think me personally, if I had pissed him off, I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so, because there's part of me that's like, please don't be mad at me, like I didn't mean it.
And what do we say about them? Gentlemen, what do we say about women? They go along to get along. They always go along to get along. And it's part of the reason that the country's headed down in the toilet, that the Western world is headed in the toilet. It's a big part of the reason is because females go along to get along because they've been set up in direct opposition to men. They haven't been set up to partner with men. They haven't been set up to do well with men, to benefit and prosper with men. No, they've been set up as your fucking enemy. And they relish the role. They like it.
Anything by it. But it's hard to know unless you're in that situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those situations though where if she didn't know and he's going to get pissed off. He overreacted. He needs to hold his composure and be like, hey, look, that's something that I don't really want to talk about. I'm just telling you now, I don't want to bring it up. Because if it's an article that he wrote that people know about, he shouldn't be surprised that people ask, especially in a live interview sort of situation.
That's probably the most logical thing that you're going to hear in this. And I don't know if this young lady on the bottom left is really in tight with the other three. Now, I'm guessing because she's the only one that is bringing up this type of point. The only one throughout all of this shit, all of this talking that they're doing. She's the only one that's saying this. You should not be surprised when your past comes back to confront you. Can you change over time? You can. Is it rare? Yeah, it's pretty rare to see people actually change. So much soul searching, so much emotional digging, spiritual work has to be done for people to actually examine themselves in such a way.
Like, what did you think was going to happen? You wrote the article.
Yeah.
And it's okay if it's something that you don't want to talk about, but you have to at least be cool about it and be like, look, hey, I don't want to talk about it. Not fuck you to someone who didn't know, because she clearly didn't know.
Yeah,
I
it's from
was,
2015. Yeah.
I was surprised to learn that he bases his brand off of masculinity, because I feel like that's not a very accurate representation of what someone would do that bases their brand off of being alpha and masculinity. I would expect something a little more stoic.
Now, she's not wrong, you know, and it's not, gentlemen, let me make this clear. It's not acid in the mouth to agree with a female that is making an accurate, honest assessment. And that's what that was. It's an accurate, honest assessment. It is not part of the brand, and she phrased it well, that he is putting forward. He is stepping forward with a brand, with a logo. He's stepping forward with an attempt to cash grab. That's the only reason that brands exist, is to sway you, to influence you. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. And more men, more young men in particular, need to understand that this is not the way to go. Now, if you genuinely in your heart want to be a cuckold, want to be emasculated, I don't know what to say for you, but you're certainly not part of the audience that I want to speak to. You can always listen to my shit, or any of the other producers out there. You can listen to them all day long, and you should. But yeah.
So he
Yeah.
maybe it really did like hit a soft spot for him in that case. for him
Well,
to
he
react like
deleted that article, so I mean, obviously he's ashamed or embarrassed in some way, which after reading it, I understand why.
I don't think that he's ashamed or embarrassed at all. It's who Jack Murphy is. It's who a lot of the people that are front and center in the manosphere are right now. There's a lot of these motherfucking snakes out here that are constantly slipping the skin. They try to delete. They try to obfuscate. They try to oh, no, you didn't actually see what you saw, man. Oh, I've changed, bro. Look, that was last week. I'm different. I'm a different man. It's Thursday, right? I'm different.
I don't know if it was me, if some guy's yelling like fuck you to something I don't know, I'd be like, don't you fucking talk to me like that. You know?
Look at Will.
Yeah.
Girl power, baby. Girl power.
For you.
Well, I have like zero tolerance for that shit now. Before I would do exactly what Chrissy did, but I've had some people really burn me. And it's like, if a full grown man is sitting back yelling at me over something I don't know, I mean, I'm a little person.
Boom. And there you go. And they all do the same thing. They all try to play the shrinking violet, right? I'm just a little girl until I don't want to be a little girl, and I've got some bass in my voice, and I've got some test in my blood, and I want your blood all over my face. That's what the fuck they do. They live dual lives. They live a dual existence. They always have. And until we take measures to stop this, they always will. And I'm not talking about restricting them. I want that 19th Amendment fucking gone. Will it happen? Hell fucking no, it won't happen. It keeps everybody in power that's in power. No, it won't happen. So what am I talking about? What do you mean, Hammer? Restricting. I'm talking about you, Mr. Man. I'm talking about you. You. It's going to be on you to figure this shit out, to understand that you're being dealt like a deck of cards. And as long as you stick around for that and make that part of your life, that's what your life is going to be. And you'd better get used to being used and taken for fucking everything, because they do that. It's what they want. That motherfucker right there, Brittany Venti, just played the clip for you. You serve no purpose in her life other than to procreate and provide for her. Do you think any of those bitches on that panel are any different? Do you think that any of them anywhere are any different than that? No, they don't want a partnership with you. They want your shit and their shit. And when it goes south, they're going to get it.
But it's like you're talking to me, you're screaming at me, telling me to go fuck myself over asking you a question on a super chat. I'd be like, well, no, go fuck yourself. Don't you dare speak to me like that, you know?
Which I thought would have been an appropriate response for Sydney Watson or the soy boy that was sitting next to her. But not one of them spoke up. Not one of them. That was a little surprising.
She had no reason to get mad at her the way she did. It's not like she was purposely trying to antagonize him.
Right. And this was towards the end of the show. Like, you would get a sense of this person. Do they have malicious intent or not? I think after an hour and a half, you would get a good feeling.
Yeah.
And I think for me, you have to consider, like, is this being done with malicious intent, or is there a chance that she's just really into these super chats and is not picking up on your subtle hints, or maybe not so subtle hints? Like, in either way, like if it were me, like, we all have things that we're like, this person is bringing this up again, like something in we wish people would forget about or stop bringing up. Like, we all have that thing.
Really? Do we all have that thing where we have said, done, endorsed, sponsored things that are 180 degrees to the personality that we have now today? I would argue that even being a blue pill, a deep blue pill, is not that bad. And then knowingly trying to sell an image to men that don't know any better, to take advantage of them and cash grab off of them. No, sir. No. That's much, much different. Much different.
But we're also public internet personalities or whatever. So I guess, like, the way to handle it, I mean, now of course it's blown up into this thing, which I hate seeing, because I love Jack. Like, he is truly a really great guy. And
Is he truly a great guy, or is he just the kind of guy that you accept? Is he the kind of guy that you want other men to be? Do you consider Murphy an ally? Do you consider Murphy to be a proto-male, an alpha? There's not one bitch on this panel right now that actually believes that. This is where you start to see the obfuscation. This is where you start to see them running cover for somebody that has been lying his ass off for years. Jack Murphy makes hundreds of thousands of dollars off of uninformed men.
Never seen. I thought this was a joke when I first saw the clip. I was like, oh, he has to be kidding around, because I've never ever seen him like this, or like this upset. And and then I was like, oh no, this is a real reaction. So probably the best way to go about it would have been to be like, oh yeah, this is what it's about, and then you move on. But now it's like, obviously it's blown up.
Wait, I have a question. You said that, because I didn't see the prior instance, so the one that happened before that outburst, you said that she had mentioned it before in the super chat, and then he acted irritated. Sorry.
See if I can.
Like, what happened before the big outburst? Because
Yeah, Now, if you watch that whole episode with Watson and Murphy, and they're interviewing Murphy for whatever fucking reason, God knows why this guy is jumping on shows or getting asked to go on shows. Oh, wait, I know, because it's a fraudulent image. And that's what fraudulent images do, is they perpetrate and promote the fraud. So other people kind of get caught out. You see, every time somebody that Murphy brushes up against gets connected to him, and then he's exposed as being this piece of shit that he is, plain and simple. When he gets exposed for being this, it dirties them up. Now, I don't see eye to eye with Anthony Johnson or 21 Studios, but he's the only one that has come out and called it right down the fucking middle. He's the only one that has come out and said exactly what it was, that it was an embarrassment, that you lied to us, that you embarrassed me, that you embarrassed 21 Studios, that you embarrassed everybody on that stage with you when you're promoting this false image of masculinity, when you don't live it, but you preach it so that you can shake these motherfuckers down for shekels. Oh, yeah. He won't be the last one to get the ass chapped. He won't be.
Chrissy said before that she had read another super chat about and he acted uncomfortable because I didn't see that. So I'm curious about that context. Because if he's acting that upset and that context is there of like it was brought up before and he acted uncomfortable, I can see why maybe he would. It doesn't justify him having a lack of control with his emotional outbursts. I think that men should really take note on how important it is to be more stoic and let women be the emotional ones. Because kind of like if a pit bull growls at you versus a kitten hissing at you.
Now, that's an amazing thing for her to say, isn't it? That is an amazing thing for her to say. And it's very true. Forgive me, gentlemen, if you hear my heat come on and you hear that little wisping sound. That's just my heat popping on. She's absolutely correct. And like I said, she is the only one on this panel that is trying to offer any kind of pushback instead of outright endorse cucketry. And I don't like her at all. It's clear who she is and what she wants. But at least she has a set of ideals. And she is trying to live by them, but it's kind of 3-on-1 right now.
You know, it means two very different things. I think it's a valid double standard. But I can understand maybe why he got a little bit offended if she did it twice and questioning her intention on that. But I don't know the context because I didn't see the first one that Kirsty mentioned.
Okay, let me pull it up here. And the timestamps, God, this is like, there's so many windows. The timestamps to look at is the 2 hour and 9 minute mark, and then the 2 hour 14 minute mark. Okay, so the first mark is the first super chat at 2 hours and 9 minutes. Okay. Oh, wow. And this like just happened. All right. So obviously, look, they've got.
I mean, look at that. 2 hours and 10 minutes into a 2 hour and 20 minute podcast. And old boy couldn't hold out for 10 more minutes. Oh, there's a part of me that wants to feel bad for the young lad, but not really.
2 hours of show already that went well. And then this happens.
This show's been hard to get advertisers on.
Yes,
Get out of town.
Okay, so this
that
is
why the super chats mean a lot to us.
They're
and
the
people
advertisers.
Look,
support
they're having a
us.
great
Thank you.
time.
'Cause you guys are the advertisers. That's why we try to get through all of these and read all your
All right, I got
comments.
a few
Even
more.
if you're trapping me. No, I want to read this one first. And because I started it, I'm going to finish what I started. Anamorphosis says, Elijah, and I apologize for this in advance, Jack. Asked
boy.
Murphy about the article he wrote about.
I apologize for this in advance, Jack. You heard that, right? I apologize for this in advance, Jack. Maybe she did know what she was doing. I don't know. Only she knows. But we all know what the end result was.
Got literally cuckolding his wife. I wish I was joking. True alpha.
Wow.
True.
Wow. You went there with that. I have absolutely no comment on that other than to say that whatever people's perception is about that, it's 180 degrees wrong. And it has nothing to do with people what they're thinking it to be today.
Pretty interesting, ain't it? They're 180 degrees wrong. I've got my little lisp going on, and yeah, and my ass cork is kind of tight right now, and yeah, he's very uncomfortable. He's very uncomfortable because he's being exposed to a gigantic audience, and then he got amplified by million fucking count sub channels. Big time. Big time. And of course, he will do the same thing that all of these scumbags do. He will double down. He will triple down. He will take it all the way to the fucking wall. All the way. Juicy Smollett, anybody? I didn't do it. You're guilty. I didn't do it. You're going to jail. I didn't do it. You're in jail. Well, that sucks.
Are we talking about sex right now?
Do you know what cuckolding is?
I totally thought
It's
you were
where
reading...
you get a chicken and you hold it and you
No,
love it.
I just blanked
and
out
then
for a
you-
second.
You make.
I just blanked out for a second.
I support you having chickens.
We
I
don't
have
kink
chickens.
shame.
I like chickens.
If you have a hen house, that's great. That's you should. You should have your own eggs. Great
We don't
supply,
kink shame.
Great for protein.
You are here does not kink shame. I want to bring that out that we do not kink shame. If you're like, if you don't want to have, if you hate women, don't want to have any sex at all, that's your lifestyle. Or if you're a nude model, that's your lifestyle.
You can in fact be, and you can be both at the same time.
True. Like they're both very accepting. Like at all the times I've been
Yeah.
on the show, we talk about weird sex stuff all the time. Like this would have been a very welcoming audience to just be like, it was about this. Like he clearly said he didn't want to.
That's correct. Your audience would be fine listening to it. But his audience, his customer base, it's antithetical to what he says to them, to what he attempts to teach, all the bullshit that he sells to them. One doesn't go with the other. It's oil and water trying to sell each other as companions. It doesn't happen ever. It won't happen ever. Not for any man or woman with an ounce of self-respect.
talk about it, but he didn't explain at all what it was about.
Well,
But do you
he
think
brushed
that
it
she
off,
should have
but you
brought-
can tell he's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Do you think that she should have brought it up a second time? Because I feel like that context, now that we've seen it, we can see that he, on
It's
some level,
clear.
did express, like he addressed it. It's like, was it
did
necessary
say
to be brought up
something, yeah.
again? It's
I
just a
don't think so.
question I'm
Unless it
wondering.
was a really high paying super chat, I wouldn't have bring.
Yeah.
Like, you don't bring that up. Once the guest already addresses it, it's like, no,
Oh, wait a minute. So now all of a sudden, money makes a difference in whether or not you read a super chat. You know, if it's $5 or $50, is it going to be a different response if it's $50? Are you going to be happier because you got $50 off of it or $100 off of it?
I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
You don't bring it up again.
He does.
know?
He does totally do a good job of. So here is the next time it comes up. I don't know, and it that is a good point about how much.
Oh, so it was 3
chats are.
times?
I think it's twice. Let me bring up the second time it comes up at 2:13.
The threat is white supremacy. Minorities attack whites, invoke white rage, checkmate for the new KKK. Unvaxxed are discriminated already, and speech is segregated by race. That is true. Brett Ain't Dad said, unfortunately, the proliferation of technology leads to authoritarian collectivism.
Okay.
Future looks
coming.
gay. Merry Christmas, Sid and Jack and Eli. Ja.
Mr. Dick and Bowles says, "Hey Jack,
See,
Shout out, Mr. Dick and Balls. Shout out, Mr. Dick and Balls.
that's what she does. She does this. Like she reads it like that's normal. Like it's not even. She's not even saying, I'm not gonna skip the name. She just goes, Mr. Dukenball said.
could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?"
I am not going to talk about
again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you
Okay,
for
so it was
bringing this
twice.
up right here and right now.
Me?
Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know that.
Why are you doing this to me? What did I do? What did I do to you? Why? How could you dare wipe out my business model? How could you do that? Oh man, I'm in trouble now.
I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Sorry.
What kind of common sense should she have used? She doesn't know that you're living a dual life. She doesn't know that you are running cover for actual real cuckolds and then selling it as a masculine alpha trait. You piece of dog shit. She doesn't know. This is what happens when somebody gets exposed and they implode. You see, he lost his fucking cool big time. We made up, man. We went out to dinner. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. You didn't squash nothing.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fuck you.
Elizabeth
Heartfelt.
Harrison says gonna miss the show, but have a good break.
Wait.
IHT.
In the
So-
first
Yeah.
in the first one that it gets brought up, was the cuck article mentioned? Because it seemed like two different
Yeah.
things. I didn't realize they were. It was okay. I
Yeah,
realized they
no.
were talking about different things. Okay.
No, and she like totally sidestepped it by making it about chickens when everyone knows exactly what it was about.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I don't
Uh,
think claiming that she didn't know what it was.
And this is the part where they all agree to blame Sydney Watson for reading a super chat, which is what you do. You read a super chat. You see, the unfortunate part about this is that there really is a whole bunch of innocent people that are being drug into this shit because of the deception of the guest. If the guest wasn't a liar and a scumbag piece of shit, if he wasn't whoring out his old lady, if he wasn't pimping his bitch to Matt from Tinder, guess what? This wouldn't have come up. It wouldn't have been an issue. Sperm warrior, baby. Sperm warriors.
Was valid. Because if she made a joke about it the first time, then obviously, I mean, who doesn't know what a cuckold is at like 28? I think she is.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, you
Yeah.
know what that is.
Again, I don't approve of how he allowed his emotional
Yeah.
sides come out and his emotional outbursts as someone, especially who brands as like a masculine alpha and such. But
Mhm.
I just
Well,
want to
okay.
be accurate and objective here.
With watching both, because I mean I've had emotional outbursts over something that was sensitive, but I mean it obviously wasn't about my sex life. But so I don't know, because I've kind of snapped at people before, like if they brought something up, like specifically like when my sister died, and if people would bring that up or like try to do that, it's like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. You bring it up again, it's like he literally just told her he didn't want to talk about it one super chat ago, and so him already saying like, no, you think it's done, and then somebody changed the subject, cut him off, let me bring it back up again.
It was less than
I'd be
5
ki-
minutes later. Yeah, it was.
I'd be kind of pissed too, so I kind of see it now from his perspective a little bit.
And there you go. This is called obfuscation. Like the posted comment says. It's called gaslighting, gents. This is exactly what this is. Exactly what this is. It's not addressing the fact that somebody lied, cheated, stole, is living a dual existence. It's addressing the fact that it was exposed. And the exposer is getting raked over the fucking coals. Pretty funny.
More. I don't think it was her. I don't think she got on that it was really uncomfortable for him.
No, I don't
You
think
know?
she picked that up for the first
I think this
time
is just
around.
an awkward situation that is now.
But you just said 60 seconds ago that she did know, that she did understand that it was uncomfortable. There's 4 of you bitches in this room and you still can't keep it straight.
Being blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that Quartering was still tweeting about it right before the stream started.
Oh man, yeah, I saw.
Because
him
he's the one
tweet-
who popularized this clip, right?
Yeah, he was tweeting about it a lot too.
They
and
seem like
I-
really good friends.
Yeah, and I think that
And that's what Jeremy Hambley from the Quartering would do. Now, why would he do that? Because he's gynocentric as fuck. Because you got to protect the whammons, man. Because somebody got a little verbal with a bitch, you got to run to her defense, man. That's my friend there. You can't talk about my friend like that, dog. Or I'll get on here and shield 3 products instead of 1.
I think that maybe the Quartering's instinct was more like you, and it's so interesting, right? Like had he had said this to Elijah, would have been a whole different story. But the fact that of the optics of Jack having this reaction to Sydney, a woman, it's like it's going to inspire a lot of guys to be like, you don't talk to my friend like that, or you don't talk to a woman like
What the fuck did I just say? What did I just say?
that. But they did talk about it, after the fact, and they did, smooth it over. And I guess they're better now. And then it's interesting because how he leaves the show at the end is because I think
And they get to that too. And it's not just a still picture, and it's very telling. Shout out Master Wrench, Ken Del Rican, founder of MGTOW. Walk and talk shit.
well, what happens right after this? Let's see.
DAC, what's that?
They're they continue on.
What?
Nothing.
Maybe
I'm
it's-
just guy. I literally was just coughing. It's just an inconvenient cough.
Norfolk says Sydney, you look uniquely
Just-
great.
Okay, so it's going
IDK
along.
says-
There's not that much
Reading?
chit chat.
They have gone.
Like, what was his outro after that? I'm kind of
Like I
curious.
said, stay
Were they
safe
just
and well.
like,
Have a great.
You mean like at the very end?
like when they said bye to him? Like, I wonder how him
Oh.
and Sydney interacted because that's kind of awkward.
This is
You know, I heard a long time ago, there was this series out on HBO. It used to interview hookers and whores and strippers. And there was one bitch in a strip club, and she said, if you got a pussy, you should never be broke. And she's not wrong. And if you've got a pussy, you will never be broke. You will never be broke. You just don't want to try. That's how fucking lazy you are. You could be a truck 50 and you can still invite somebody to that fucking snatcher hole, and somebody's going to take that offer. Now, whether you like them enough to get up in there to go womb diving, that's another story. But somebody's going to take that offer every fucking day of the week. That's how many degenerate, fucked up men are out there. Who bred the degenerate, fucked up men? Come on now. Let's say it together. The welfare state and the single mother. Mount Jeeves, or MT Jeeves, pimps up, hoes down. That is the name of the series. Yeah. Very, very informing. Very informing. I hope it wasn't a put on. A lot of these are a put on, but it didn't look like it was scripted. So
what happens
Great
at the
rest of your
end.
Evening. Have a great weekend and a merry Christmas.
Like watch how he
watch this
leaves
motherfucker.
this.
Now watch him.
And then watch Elijah's reaction.
Where you going, bitch? Hey,
Wow,
yo,
he doesn't say anything
where-
to either of them.
where you going, man?
Yeah.
That's a snub.
Hey, man, I don't want to talk to you motherfuckers. You hurt my feelings. You exposed my whole game, man. Fuck y'all, man. Hey, man, can we make up later? Sure, bro. Let's make up later so we can get you back on here and get some more clicks out of this controversy.
Yeah, he was not happy.
Oh. Woo. I feel
I also
And there's another one right there. Fucking Blaze TV. Blaze TV. Glenn Beck. Good on you.
I also feel like if that's something that you don't want to talk about, you're right. He did say something about it, and she probably shouldn't have brought it up again. Still think it was no reaction, but I feel like
Yeah.
I just feel like if that
Now, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Told him about it. I felt like she shouldn't have brought it up, but I still think it was an overreaction. That's double speak. That's double speak, folks. It's one or the other. It's not both. There's no shades of gray here. There's no shades of gray. And you can see the hamster wheel turning on all four of these heads. You can see it. It's easy to see. All you have to do is listen to the verbal contradictions. I mean, they come a mile a minute.
something you don't want to talk about, sort of like, I mean, celebrities do this all the time. You say beforehand, like, hey, look, this is one thing that people are probably going to bring up because it's out there, but I really don't want to talk about it. Like, if
Well,
you're
I
that
should-
concerned about it.
That article is
true.
from 2015. Like, I don't think he was expecting it to be brought up. You know,
Yeah, that's very
If you're on a
old.
conservative
That is
podcast of any kind, though, you should expect if you have a degenerate past, so to speak, that it might come up. You know,
I told you I don't like Brittany Venti. I think that she's typical of the trash archetypal woman out here today, self-absorbed, thinks that she's a 9.5 and she's really probably somewhere around a 4 or a 5. She's average, man. She's run of the mill. And it's all good. I don't mind average. Average is great, except average thinks that they should get more than what average gets. But she's the only motherfucker on there that is trying to call it. And everybody else just going hive mind. What does Chronic say? Level 5 bitch think. That's what you're seeing. Gaslighting, gentlemen, gaslighting.
Because he wrote it and it was public. Like, I feel like he should know. If it's
How
gonna
much
come
has
up.
he done since 2015? Like, I don't know who he is. I didn't know who he
Me
was until
neither.
yesterday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't know who any of those people were until yesterday when I saw the clip. But I know
guess it's working.
I live
Yeah.
under a rock. But I mean, I would have expect, because is he a comedian?
Yeah, in a manner of speaking, he is absolutely a comedian. That's a funny motherfucker right there, trying to sell men on masculinity while you're taking dick and balls in the ass. Shout out, Mr. Dick and Balls.
He is
Like, what's his
he's
shtick?
he's the founder of a group called the Liminal Order, where it's like
The seminal fluid order, because that's what it is. That's when you are lapping up Chad. That's when you're lapping up Tyrone's leftovers. Oh man, I squeezed into her and she was all wallowed out and shit. So it was real easy for me, man. I almost got my balls in there too.
community building. It's like good, it's like a male networking group. Basically, like they help each other. I don't know, find
I,
jobs or be like male friendship and stuff. Like I don't know because I can't join because I'm a woman. But yeah, I think he
Well,
does.
it's 2020.
No, you can join. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're a woman. You can join. They will open the back door for you, bitch, as long as you open the front door. You see, that's the duality of Jack Murphy and the liminal order, the seminal fluid order. Yeah, you can join. They'll let you in. You just got to provide a service. Value. You know how it is.
One.
But I've been to. They have these. They're called. He hosts these like It's called Jacked Brunch, and I went to the one in Nashville, and it was like lovely. It's like a great networking event for like men who are like kind of all have the same goals and like want to start families.
It's a fucking freak show. It's a freak show that sells you on the idea that there ain't nothing wrong out there, man. It's just you. There ain't no legal dramas and snares. Hold on a second. Has the law changed? Have the laws been amended? Have they been revoked? Have they been stricken? No to all of those? Oh, hold on a second. Have women changed? No, women have not changed, and they're not going to change. They're not. And I think that we all know that. Blue Pill Cuck says, little girls, Jack. He was trying to explain that one away, too, like it was a BDS term. Like, I call her my little girl, and she calls me daddy, and blur, blur, blee, blee, blur, blur. No. It's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. It should never be tolerated. It should never be excused away. It should never be brushed under the fucking rug. And people like this, these bitches here, should not be running cover for it. But they are. They are. They're not addressing the topic at hand. They're not addressing the meltdown. They are gaslighting you. Very, very appropriate term.
And want to like succeed at their jobs, and it's like a very healthy kind of like.
Oh,
male
that's
networking.
interesting.
Yeah, and
That-
I went.
It must
like,
have. It must have moved then, because I'm not aware of his entire lore or anything. But I was actually going through the cuckold article he wrote, and one of his influences he cited was Rush V. And
Big fucking shock. Big surprise, right? Birds of a feather will shit on you together. And they all cite Rolled Up Tamale as their influence. And they all have gone on television and gotten fucking destroyed because their arguments don't hold up under scrutiny. And neither does the lifestyle that they claim to live. It does not hold up under scrutiny. It is valueless, has no principles, morally and ethically bereft. It's just what the fuck I want to do, and I'm just going to go call it this, that, and the other because, because I can get that fucking money. Because there's a million men that don't know shit walking into the manosphere every month, and they don't know anything, and they're being fucked. They're being taken advantage of.
And at that time, especially in that time period which he wrote it, Rushvi was very much not a traditionalist, so to speak. He was pickup artist, which is the exact opposite. It's like fuck as many women as possible, not be loyal and faithful to one person.
Yeah.
Which is kind of rich coming from her. It really is. If you know anything about Brittany Venti and the crap that she's put out on YouTube, yeah, that's the pot calling the fucking kettle black.
And I think
So
he had
that's
that
interesting.
phase. I think he had that phase like right after his divorce, and now he's like on the other side of it. Like, hey, I have a fiance. I'm all about this one woman. Like, I had this past, so I can understand. Like, he didn't.
That makes sense.
He was like, oh, this isn't me now. But then say that, be like, maybe you do have to briefly go, okay, I was in all these open relationships or whatever, and I wrote this at a time when I felt this. But yeah, I get being triggered, but it does look bad. But he's a great guy, so I feel bad.
Hey, he went on there and he gave her the business and he told her to go fuck herself a few times, and it was very heartfelt. Fuck you. Guess what, man? I don't like you, bitch. But he's a great guy. He misleads hundreds of men, if not thousands of men. He bankrolls their fucking cash. He leads them astray. He gives them all custom cut keys to the back door to fucking plantation. But he's a great guy. Do you know why he's a great guy? He's a great guy because that's the kind of fucking man that these bitches want. That's the guy that these hoes want. You see? Because that guy works in their favor. That guy works in their favor. Whether they're conscious of this or not, I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they aren't. I don't know. What I do know is they have no real problem with what he did. They have no real problem with him lying and cheating and stealing and being a fucking thief. They have no problems with this. Good thing for us that there's an undead chronic and a war band and a few irascible old assholes out here that won't tolerate it.
People make mistakes, especially when emotions are involved. I feel like
They
that's
left
such a
a-
big thing.
I'm sorry. People make mistakes. So it's a mistake to run up on Matt from Tinder. It's a mistake to go to Craigslist and groom some motherfucker and bring him home and then ambush sex him. That's a fucking mistake. It's a mistake to fall on 4 or 5 dicks and then come home to your old man and give him the sloppy fucking, the wet nap. Say, hey, homeboy, get to work. Oh, baby, you make me so proud because it was my master plan.
A comment on their video about it. It's from Brandon.
Oh yeah.
It says,
Sir.
okay, so I'll read it. Excuse my dyslexia. Well, tonight's ending got a bit spicy. In the moment, Elijah and myself thought Jack was talking about the super chatter when he made those remarks towards Sydney. Since
No. You never thought that. Everybody was well aware that he was talking to Sydney Watson. One more again, this is obfuscation. This is gaslighting. This is running cover. This is excusing it. Everybody knew that he meant Sydney Watson. Plain and simple. There's no getting around that.
clearly she was just reading the comment. None of us knew anything related to Jack and this topic, so there was truly no malicious intent behind it, and we were genuinely confused as to why he was so agitated when he walked off the set at the end of the show. It wasn't until after the show that I was able to rewatch the ending and get a better understanding of what went down. Elijah managed to catch up with Jack, and they talked it out and realized there was a misunderstanding
Wait.
and that it became something it didn't have to.
Wait, that doesn't make sense though, because two things.
See what I told you? She is trying to hold these other bitches accountable, but they just won't hear it because they all have investments and ties. It's mutually beneficial to keep Jack Murphy in the frame, to keep using him to push his ideals on masculinity on men. It is beneficial to cuck you. Don't take my word for it.
So why would, number one, if it was toward the super chatter, why would Jack say to Sydney, why are you doing this to me? I don't think he would say that to a random super chatter. And number two, I'm pretty sure Elijah made a tweet following up. He said something along the lines of like, I'm not a white knight. So that's kind of conflicting, isn't it?
Coming to the defense of your co-host is not white knighting. If it had been two men sitting there and he had said that, well, I don't think that he would have said that to two men. He was talking to two bitches. One of them just happens to have a penis. So if two men had been sitting there, it would have been a different story altogether. He might have just collapsed and walked off the fucking set.
I think they mean
In
is
regard
that
to why he didn't
Sydney-
defend her.
Well, I think Sydney thought, or Sydney and Elijah both thought he was talking to the super chatter, not to her, is what it seems like. Is that
But
what that
then
means?
But then,
Yeah, I
yeah,
can
but
see
then
that.
why did he follow up with the tweet saying, when Quartering asked him, why didn't you defend Sydney? He responded with, I'm not a white knight, which was fine.
Like
but
it's
that's
not
kind of
his
conflicting
job
with
to-
what the producer's saying, is what I'm pointing out.
Well, you don't have to be a white
I'm
knight to be a good
confused.
person.
And there it is. And it's not a joke. Look, gents, I have absolutely zero shame when it comes to a woman making a good point, a logical, sound, reasonable point. Brittany Venti is a horrible bitch, but she's the only one on this panel trying to hold this motherfucker accountable, and the others won't let it happen. She's not wrong.
I mean,
No, definitely not. But I'm confused.
let's
Like-
see.
I think they might have, like, maybe Jeremy was expecting in one of his tweets, like expecting Elijah to like stick up for Sydney more, but he didn't get the sense that he needed to stick up for her.
Right, but that's conflicting with the producer's comment of saying like, oh, he didn't know. Like you either know and you consciously don't do it, or you don't know, so you're unable to take action because of it. I just think it's conflicting.
Yeah. It's also
It is conflicting. And while we're conflicted, I want to sit here and take a moment and acknowledge the 358 of you badasses that are sitting in this live right now. These awesome thumbs, 363 Fonzies. Hey, that is awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone, every interaction, every comment. And it's my pleasure to usher you into the midnight hour on this very late Christmas Day, 2021.
also possible that like all four people involved have like different perspectives on what happened.
Yeah.
But he's
Jeez,
speaking for
drama.
Elijah in that comment, so yeah, I'm just confused on which one it is.
Yeah, I think overall it just was like a thing that got blown up, and like none of these people are malicious. So
None of these people are malicious. No, man, there's no maliciousness at all, right? There's not an ounce of malicious behavior in all of this. It's just a big misunderstanding. You know, Jack was writing down what his thoughts were. You know, he wasn't writing down what he actually did. He was alpha gazing in his mind. That's what he was doing. Yeah, that's the ticket. I'd buy that for $1. Maybe, probably not.
I don't know if you guys are caught up.
No, I want to know though.
So
I saw the clip.
So that's the end of that one. It has finished up, gents. Thank you for putting up with that torturous motherfucking 20 minutes. and my commentary in between. I'll get into the comments here real quick, and we'll do a little bit of discovery. How about that? Channel 1800, dumb. Hardy har har. Davina Duckworth, I don't want to listen to any of them. I don't either. Jeff Hook, Brittany may lose money over this. I don't know if she's going to lose money. You can pretty much bet your ass that most of the people that tune into Venti's channel or Venti's channel are men that are starved for female attention, and even negative attention pulls them in. You see, when she was running her mouth talking shit up to that one guy, and just being a very disreputable kind of person, she was telling you the truth. She was
Proving she doesn't really give a fuck about me.
Okay, and why should she give a fuck about you?
Uh,
Why should anyone?
shit.
Why are you entitled? This is the problem with modern men. They're so entitled. They
Yeah. Now, this is the same bitch that was just on that 4-person panel. So if you're getting any special feelings, if you're thinking that she understands you, you're going to want to watch this next minute.
think that they deserve women's time. And, you know, our time is more valuable than the modern man.
She said it. Their time is more valuable than the modern man. And modern has nothing to do with anything. They absolutely believe 100% because pussy, tits, and ass has been promoted so heavily for the last 40, 50, 60 years that they are better than you, that they got more going on than you, that you need them more than they need you. Gentlemen, if I had my druthers, if I had it my way, I would put a chastity belt on every fucking one of them and every fucking one of you. And I'd sit back and I'd watch this motherfucker spiral into oblivion. At this point, I don't know how it gets fixed. I don't think that it does.
only have about 20 years of being able to procreate, and
Exactamundo. But you spend those prime years being a fucking whore, a scumbag, a sleut, a nasty person, a zinc walker. That's what you do. You spend all of that time, your precious years, worried about a fucking career. How many suckers you can nab on OnlyFans. And you still want that man to sit back and put up with that shit because it's convenient for you. There's a rude awakening coming to the West. It's already here.
here you are acting entitled as if your time is valued the same as a woman's, and your time is not valued the same as a woman's.
So how much time should I give?
As much.
Proving she doesn't really give a fuck about me.
Okay, and why as she requires? Because
As much time as she requires. How much time should I give? Who asks that? Who asks that? Now, your first inclination may be to say a simp, a cuck. No. It is a desperate person seeking answers. And unfortunately, they are getting their answers from somebody who is a user, a shitbag. That's who they're getting their answers from. A self-serving, self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what they're getting their answers from. And he's probably going to listen to her. And it's probably going to take him another 10 years to figure out that he was misled. And by then, he'll be so broken and jaded that he will be of use to no one, even himself.
you're a walking asset. Your value is based on how much you can provide to a woman.
I didn't need to say it. She said it for me. Your value is based on what you can provide to a woman. Do you think that all of these chameleons and these sluts that you see walking around talking about men's rights and how nobody listens to that man and we should get some respect for those niggas, do you think that any of those motherfuckers see it your way? They don't. They're running cover. They run cover for one another. They go along to get along because they know at the end of the fucking rainbow there's a dick and a pussy and they got that motherfucker. And that's why you have to control your biology, gentlemen. That's why you have to have morals and ethics and values and principles. Because if you don't, you're going to fall into the honeypot. Plain and simple. And it's not your honeypot, it's theirs.
As a man, in order to be high value. And right now, you're not providing a lot of value. And it seems to have been a deep-rooted issue from the start with your mother.
You see how that goes, gents? Now, this is the part where she's not wrong. It is a deep-seated issue from the start with your mother. And most likely, your lack of no father. And it's engineered. It's designed. It's orchestrated. It is what it is.
Never thought of it that way. How would I,
You're
I'm not
wasting
good
my
at this.
time right now. Talk faster. TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. My uterus is dying.
Does this sound like a bitch with any empathy, with a soul? It's not. She's not. If you go to her channel and you can manage to choke down 2 or 3 videos, you'll understand very clearly she is there for one purpose and one purpose only. That is herself. And nobody will tell you that there's anything wrong with that, except for a man that wants to partake of her ass. He'll say that that's wrong because he can't get his. You shouldn't be worrying about that, sir. You should be doing what you need to do to get the fuck out of this bullshit. Stack your green. Stack your green. Master your lockout game. Line of MGTOW. Thank you very much. I just saw that while I was up. That's a good one like that. There we go. And that was her doing the burp, by the way. She does that on her streams all of the fucking time. She got some thing going on, and she is something, ain't she? She's something. So anyways, gents, I'm gonna get into these comments and we're gonna talk a little bit. And if I've got anything interesting, I'll pull it back up and say what's up. The health inspector. Wow. Yeah. Why does any man waste time on these pieces of trash? Because men are not raised the same way that women are raised. It starts from birth. You have to be able to see that. You have to be able to recognize it, and you have to be able to actually appreciate it for its ruthless efficiency. Because that's exactly what it is. Ruthless efficiency. How many boys have been diagnosed with ADD, ODD, ADHD, any of these bullshit disorders, which very few of them are actual legitimately true? Very few. How many young boys over the last 50 years have been diagnosed with these things and put on head meds because they have a female teacher? Because female teachers, female authority figures think that men, boys, should act like women and girls, and they don't understand it. It's so weird to them. There must be something wrong with them. You know, my psychology class said it's very, very deep-rooted. Very deep-rooted. And they prey on you, man. They prey on you. The short-term gain equals long-term pain. Short-term pain equals long-term pain. Absolutely. ESP revaluation. There's always someone ready to simp. Yeah, but we got to make sure, we have to make sure that we aren't just throwing simp and cuck at anybody that we don't see eye to eye with. In all the time that I've been giving Joker shit for what he said about men having to dummy up, I never once called him a cuck. I never once called him a simp because I didn't believe that. You can disagree with people without having to disagree with their existence. And it's important to be able to find common ground with folks so that we can start moving in one direction. Now, I don't mean that a mass of humanity is going to move in one direction. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that we have severe problems socially, civically, societally, severe problems. They're not going anywhere. They're being exacerbated. They're being intentionally made worse. Lion of MGTOW. Master that lockout game. Abso-fucking-lutely. Way of the Kodiak. I'd love to compare just 2 hours of my workday compared to 8 hours of hers. The difference would make her pea brain explode. I don't think that it would. I don't think that it would. What I think she would do is default to her normal position, which is that's man's work. That's for you. That's your job, not hers. So she would be in the right in her mind. I don't think that she would have any problem with that type of comparison at all, because in her mind, that's not for her anyways. It's your role, homeboy, you shaved ape. That's your fucking role. And they know it. A Saiyan named Goku Black. Her eggs are probably chalk now. With any luck, she's sterile and will never breed. And if she has kids, good luck to them. Pan-African BMGTOW. Her eyeglasses are larger than her upper torso. Intelligent. Well, maybe the projection of intelligence. But it's clear to me that all of those females that we just watched painstakingly dissecting are intelligent. They have intelligence. Okay? You can't be a deceitful piece of shit without being intelligent. So don't ever underestimate these people. When you see somebody that you feel is acting evil or immorally, that's intelligence, because they're doing it willfully. Scotial. Nuclear families are now 15%. Society cannot sustain that number, and it will not sustain that number. It will not sustain that number. That number is going to fucking plummet. It's going to go out of existence. Successful endeavors. This is exactly why MGTOW exists. I agree with you. I agree. And it's being amplified. The farther forward in time we go, it's being amplified. Big fucking time. There's fewer and fewer and fewer places for people to hide. There's fewer places for people to deny. There's narratives that just aren't working anymore for these people that don't want to say the name MGTOW, that don't want to say red pill, although red pill has become mainstream. It's just bastardized. It's watered down and diluted. Doesn't mean what they think it means. The end is near. Nice hammer. I don't know, nice about what? What'd I do? Nick Taylor the fourth. She proves all fembutts aren't tall and blonde. No, they're not tall and blonde. But being completely honest, do you think that Brittany Venti is going to be without somebody in her bed? Do you think that she doesn't have some motherfuckers on the hook? I'm sure that she does. And if she doesn't, it's because she wears that toxic, horrific attitude on her sleeve. And that's how she is everywhere. That's how she is everywhere, with everyone. So when you see a lot of these people out here who are beat, ganked, broken, served, tell me where that came from. When you see those bitches out there, it's because they do wear those attitudes, that feministic trait that they have been molded in, out in the open. They wear it like a cheap suit. They don't realize it, but we do. Kendall Rican, MGTOW predicted all this shit. Yes. Yes. And MGTOW hasn't seen critical mass. The red pill hasn't seen critical mass, but it's getting there. It's getting there. It's going to be a slow roll, gents. It'll be a slow roll. Spot of tea. Oh, and it just jumped. Any advice for monk mode? You have to want it. You have to want it. My advice is that you take things slow. That's my advice. You know, if going cold turkey works for you, and it does for some folks, then do that. But my advice is to take things slow. You have to be able to commit to yourself, whether it's MGTOW, Monk, Red Pill, paying your rent on time, you know, taking care of your financial responsibilities outside of hoes. You have to be able to commit to those things. And being a monk is no different. It's no different. I don't wake up every single day and say, today I'm going to be a monk. I don't do that. What I do is, today, what am I going to do for my life? You know? And if I just want to lay in bed and get a few extra hours of sleep today, then that's what I'm going to do. This morning, got up, prepped that 20-pound turkey, stuffed that bird with 2 different types of stuffing, handmade, cooked it for 3.5 hours, and it was fucking scrumptious. Scrumptious. Delicious. Have my son over here. He's stuffed fucking full, laying down, head hanging over the bed, watching TV with the Christmas lights on. Your commitment can be that simple. It can be that easy. Your commitment to yourself, you, is numero uno. It has to be numero uno. Polska Bob, Barbarossa. Of course. Of course. What did Barbarossa do? He walked in the MGTOW door, and then he walked out the MGTOW door, equipped, ready to deal with life. And I hope that his life is working out. I've seen a few videos over the last couple of years, and he's mountain climbing. He's living life. That's a good thing. There's nothing bad about that. You don't have to walk into MGTOW or Red Pill or monkhood and sit there and swelter and suffer. But don't get me wrong, there will be some suffering to get you where you need to be so that you can take care of yourself. That absolutely matters. Master Wrench, Riff Magos, 13-year monk and proud. I'm right behind you, brother. Closing in on 12. Closing in on 12. Battle-hardened sniper. You are the most important person to you. All others come second. Look after yourself first. I agree. I agree. And I don't mean that in a selfish or self-centered way. I still get immense satisfaction out of being able to be generous, out of being able to help people. Immense satisfaction. It's not my feel good for the day. It's not my Boy Scout act. It's what I do. It's what I am as a person, as a human. I enjoy helping people, but I don't enjoy being used. And I'm in a much better position now today than I was just a few years ago to be able to help people. Now I'm going to tell you, I went to the store a couple of days ago, and I'm going to give you some of my fake ass altruism, because you know there's a couple of folks out there that like to run their mouth about how when I discuss what we do with our funds and how we help people, that I'm ingratiating myself. Let the ingratiating begin. It is what it is. Thanksgiving weekend, my mother and I were out shopping for all of the Thanksgiving stuff. I was sitting in the car. She takes too long, you know, she just moves slower, very plodding. So I just sit in the car, and she come out with this dumbstruck look on her face. And I got out and I asked her if she was all right. And she said, yeah, somebody just paid for all of our groceries. And I said, what? And she said, some woman just come up and paid for all of our groceries. I'm like, son of a bitch, you're kidding. And we ran into him, and I told this story back when it happened. A couple of B-dubs. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. So they saved us $200. So I took the $200 last week and I went into my local store, my local not convenience store, department store here, so shopping for food. I selected 2 people and I asked them if I could give them a gift. And I handed each one of them $100. Paid for their food, paid for their groceries. I couldn't do things like that if I had somebody sucking me fucking dry with my permission. Couldn't do those things. I couldn't be a better person because I would be on the dole to somebody else. I'm very prepared to give away that goodness. Very prepared to give it away. And that comes at no expense to me. No expense to you, gentlemen. When you donate to the channel, much of it gets given away. Just what it is. And I tell the people straight up, I tell them, this is the generosity of the people that are on my channel. They thank you and I thank you. Please have a good time. Do what you want to do with it. If you want to pay a bill, pay a bill. If you want to go out and blow it, go blow it. Let off a little steam. And we do that. We do that. And I wanted to thank all of you headed into midnight, the witching hour, 12:05 a.m., December 26, 2021. Polar Bear Predator, Hammerhand equals truth. Well, I try not to lie. Sometimes I lie. And I got to be honest about that. Sometimes I lie. Like, does this make me look fat? No, bitch, you good. You good. Yeah, good. Pan-African BMGTOW. From serial bachelor to MGTOW monk. Evolution in a patriarch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you 100%. And I would be remiss if moving into and out of our Christmas season that I didn't mention Archangel, Michael Beck, if I didn't mention Renegade One or Vention MGTOW or Montana MGTOW, if I didn't mention David Carroll, if I didn't mention the guys that have come before us and the end of their road came this year or last year. So peace to them. Peace to us. That's what I got to tell y'all. I think life is good. Life is good, and it sucks. And yes, absolutely remiss there. D's nuts, Paul Proteus. Certainly cannot forget Paul Proteus. And I'm sure that there are a few out there that I'm not aware of, that have come and gone. And we need that. We need that. We don't need people to die, but we need the reminder that your life is temporary. You don't think of your life as being temporary. Like Miss Venti was saying, you've only got so much time. She's not wrong about that. In my opinion, she's very wrong about how she handles it, but it's her life. You want to be a piece of dog shit, be a piece of dog shit. You want to be immoral and unethical, be that. Or if you just want to be brutally honest and tell people that you view them as a disposable thing. That's what people do. That's what people do. JD, we're always lying. We can't be 100% honest because there's too many factors that play into honesty, and it would take too long to explain. And if people don't understand the honesty, then it's something. Not honest. I caught the rest of that down there. Then it's not honest. Being 100% honest is going to put you in a position of never having a friend in the world. But you can sleep good at night. You can sleep good at night. I sleep good at night. Polska Bob, I miss Paul. I miss him too. But it's important for us to understand that Paul stopped making those videos years before we learned about his physical passing because he was, in his own words, unprepared for the amount of shit that he was getting for what would appear to most people with a rational mind to be unadulterated truth. That's how misled and misused the human psyche is. You know, I said it earlier, up is down, down is up, cats and dogs living together. It's the truth. It's the truth. And it's one of the only truths that you're going to hear. They tell you that people who are grossly overweight, and I don't mean gross as in disgusting, I mean gross as in it's going to kill you, that they're healthy at any size. People who are anorexic, they're healthy at any size. People who look like a fucking tree trunk, they deserve love too. I'm not going to tell you that people don't deserve kindness, that they don't deserve humanity. They do. They do. But what they don't deserve, and no one deserves, is a pity fuck, or to have somebody stroke you and massage you because you don't fit into humanity in a nice, tidy way. There are so many of us that don't fit into humanity in these nice, tidy ways, and we actively delude ourselves into believing that we should be given something to make up for that. Yeah. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Polar bear predator, 872 pounds, needs a forklift to get out of bed, but I'm still breathing, bitch, so I'm healthy. I'm healthy. That's amazing, isn't it? John Gorska. Women's diets just don't work the same, especially if you're black, right? You know, black diets are worse than white diets, so it's racist. So I heard, anyways. An excuse a minute for these motherfucks out here that just cannot get by on their own steam. They have to have somebody to blame for everything. When somebody said to me, when they were talking about critical race theory, CRT, they said, you know, a white bum on the street has more privilege and power than Oprah Winfrey. I knew right then that the humane thing to do would have been to kill them. But I wouldn't want to go to jail for it. Because I know that they're rabid, that there's something wrong with them that's not ever going to be fixed. Don't let these things corrupt and destroy your minds. Because they're trying to. They're trying to. Oh, man. MGTOW Live. I have to get my prostate checked. Boy, get in there and get the pickle tickle. Get somebody to check that thing for you. Absolutely. Mountain Monk. My man, what's up? And it just fucking popped. Why did it do that? My ex ended up with more rolls than a baker. You know, funny story. I don't see my kid's mother very often, but she traded me in for somebody that was much more pliable than I am. And I'm not the most rigid motherfucker in the world, but when I say no, I mean no. That's it. You know, maybe you don't. I don't know. But when I say no, I mean no. When I'm not willing to go along with something, I'm not going to go along with it. Now, I'm not telling you that you can't. You go do you. But I won't participate in it with you. And that was her idea of me trying to control her by opting out of things that she wanted me to do that I didn't want to do. So I was controlling her because I wouldn't go along with it. It's really fucked up and warped logic. Anyways, make a long story longer. I have noticed over the last few years that she has become gigantic. When she was with me, she cared about taking care of herself. She cared about her body. That is not the case today. And that's what happens when you trade in a bull for somebody that will lap up your zinc puddle. Absolutely. Every single time. Because then you have no standard to be held to. And it was a conscious choice. She consciously threw me on the scrap pile so that she could get somebody that she could control and not get resistance from. Well, there you go. MGTOW Live. Not jumping yet until I check. I'll keep us posted. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doc Holiday, Texas. MGTOW. Long story longer. Love the honesty. I can't be anything else but, gentlemen. I appreciate you. Channel 1800. Dumb fucker, Hammer. No. Have you not been paying attention? There's Monkville over here. I don't do that. I'm not above getting a good hand job, but I'm not going to fuck with them. I'm not messing with them. They ain't getting my seed. No. I think we're done on that one. Non-gynocentric goblin saw Hogzilla was taken in Arkansas the other day. Had no idea my ex had moved there. Wow. Damn, son. Damn. Mr. Pliskin. Call me Snake. Rock those curves, girl. And that's what I told her. You know, she was bitching the other day. I went to go pick up my son, and we had a few minutes before my son showed up off the bus, and she was out there talking. Man, I'm getting all fat and shit. And I said, well, you got what you wanted. He's like, well, I didn't want to get fat. I said, yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You want your cake and you want to eat it too, and you don't want the calories and you don't want anything that goes with eating that fucking cake, but you want to be able to eat it. You got exactly what you wanted. You know, it is what it is. She said, well, you don't look like you put on any weight. And I says, no, haven't put on any weight. So it is what it is, right? Mr. Kendall Reek and Master Wrench Hammerhand, who hurt you? Everybody. Everybody. Craig Needoff, Slores, love to milk ATMs, avidly timid males. Yes, they do. And they actively look for them. Actively. Gentlemen, don't think for 1 second that you weren't being told the truth earlier with Miss Brittany Venti. She was telling you the truth. She was telling you exactly who, what, when, and where, and exactly what you mean to her. You're nothing to them. If you are seeking them out for acceptance, if you're seeking them out to replace the love of somebody that did not give you love when they had the opportunity and the chance, you're going to come up empty-handed. It might take a month or a year or 10 years. But eventually, because there is no consequence too big for them to shirk, they will put your ass on the wanted pile. And somebody else can want you because they're going to go out and get somebody. And they probably, by the time they got there, they've already got that person. They're probably already fucking them. They're probably already mentally involved with them while they're checking out from you. Good signs to look for if you're in a relationship. Has she become emotionally distant? Does she not want to emotionally engage with you anymore? You know how they call you men emotionally unavailable? Well, Miss Venti was right about a couple of things. You are what? Men. Stoicism is a male trait. Now they're trying like hell to breed it out, but good luck. Good luck. I don't think that they know what they're doing, but I don't think that they think that they know what they're doing. So it is what it is. It is what it is. 380 of you crazy son of a bitches on a holiday weekend sitting here chilling with me. Isn't that amazing? 465 Fonzies. I can't even believe that. That's absurd. That's good, man. Let me get up on here real quick. Hold on 1 second, gents. Yep. That's it. 380 of y'all, man. That's amazing. Saw the war band in here earlier. Undead Chronic. Every massive master wrench in this motherfucker. Silver Surf Studio. Chilling with the hammer. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Gents, I'm going to put on a little tune here real quick, and I will be right back. I have got to go and drain the fucking vein. So I will be right back. Hold on. Pleasant. Me likey. So, what are we going to talk about? We don't have to talk about shit. If you guys got things to do and you want to jet, man, just let me know. Just holla. Get on here and talk about things like Jack Murphy and the folks that he associates with and these broads that we just got done taking a peek at. And why? A lot of people are going to ask that. And a lot of people that like to make waves, a lot of people that like to rumble, but they don't provide anything. And I'll tell you why. Because they lead us astray. Because they lead you into a room that you can't get out of. Not very easily. Not very easily at all. It's an unfortunate thing that we have so many people out there that are so willing to hurt and harm. It is. It's unfortunate. I don't like it. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why a lot of you do what you do. That's why we have men on the other side of things like JD Miles doing what he does. You see? A lot of folks don't like to address the ankle biters. They don't like to address our biggest fans. But a lot of them don't mind addressing them and keeping them busy, keeping them preoccupied. And that's a good thing. MGTOW values, and it just jumped. Of course it did, motherfucker. There it is. MGTOW values: freedom from a room you cannot get out of is impossible. Do not enter that room. You have to have the ability to discern whether you should enter that room or not. There's a lot of fucking folks out there. Lot of folks out there that cannot make that judgment call competently. And obviously, the reasons are what? Because there's a whole bunch of fucking guys out here that are no different than the females that use men. They picked up on it a long time ago. You don't have to provide much. All you have to do is jump on there with a little bit of bravado. All you have to do is say, I'm a fucking man. I slay the cooter. I'm in it all day and night. I can barely sleep. I've got so much pussy hanging around my fingers and neck. And you will find people by the bucket load that believe it. By the bucket load. And that sucks. It sucks that people are so fucking gullible. But you can see how gullible they are on the other side of things too. Especially every female that has bought into any ideal considering feminism. You got the right to vote. You got equal rights. You got equal pay. You got equal fucking everything. Mission accomplished. Or so we thought. Now feminism is used in insidious ways, in historically heinous ways. Did you know that women, as a collective, are the biggest mass murderers on planet Earth? 1 billion and counting. 1 billion. 1 billion. Mountains of dead babies. It's my right. It's my right. You know, I told a bitch years ago after my kid's mother took off and I was still trying to date. I told her after she mentioned the abortion thing, and I didn't really understand where it was coming from. She says, you know, I do support abortion. I says, well, I don't. So I think we're going to have to call it a day. And she said, what? I said, I don't mess around with people that think that they have a right to kill a life form, especially a human. You know, now I understand hunting for food. I understand our struggle to stay alive on the planet, and that can be done a little bit differently, in my opinion. But I don't hang with any human beings that think that babies are optional items. She was fucking shell-shocked. She was gobsmacked. I got up and left. Never heard from her again. You know how it is, man. You just some wacky Republican. Or at least that's what they'll call you, because that's the programmed response, right? It's the programmed response. Transylvanian MGTOW monk. No, women have more rights than men. That's a fact. That's a fact. And it won't end with reproductive rights. You see, if you can push a farce like reproductive rights, you can push other farces. If you can subjugate men reproductively, which has happened, and make men indifferent to child murder, if you can make them indifferent to their own rights, you can take everything from them. And these folks do that, and they do it with regularity, and it's a never-ending assault on you. Now, do I expect anybody to go out there and pick up sticks, swords, pitchforks, and machine guns and try to take over the world? No. Do I think that that day's coming? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do. I don't know if it's in a year, 10 years, or 1,000 years. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that people are going to get to a point where they just cannot do this anymore. They can't live this way anymore. Everything that you see out here, I realize this is a repetitive statement, is a construct. Everything. Now, not biological sex. That's not. Because if that is the case, then we're the most awesome accident ever. Okay, if gay or bi was a normal plane of existence, if being a transformer was a normal plane of existence, the human race would fizzle out. It would have never gotten to where it is now if it were normal. So it's not normal. So you have to be able to call these things as you see them. If the church hadn't been thoroughly and totally infiltrated and taken over, well, it'd be a little bit different in the church as well. Robots in disguise, baby. See if I got that. I think I got that. Hold on a second. I think I got that sound effect. No, I don't have it. Well, piss on me. Where are we at? I'm in my videos too. Well, I don't think I got it. Gents, I don't think I got it. I am going to play something for you, though.
The whole thing's on video, man. You can say whatever you like.
Arrested for drunk driving. An Albuquerque woman tries to flip the script on the officer, accusing him of sexual assault.
And it was just that fucking fast, too. As soon as she couldn't get her way or maneuver this fucking guy. You know, now I'm no fan of cops. I'm not. No friend of cops. But this is not specific to police. This is the normal, average, everyday slur that's out there in the world. You can tell she's got the 1,000-cock stare. You can tell she's mentally and emotionally broken. Her ability to pair bond is in the fucking toilet. She's probably had more razor blades and needles in her uterus than you've had in you. I promise you.
And cops say 23-year-old Deanna Griego padded her bra with something extra. She was placed under arrest for DWI earlier this month.
And it turns out that's what ended up giving her away. Caleb James is live in our newsroom tonight with the newly released lapel video. Caleb.
Yeah, guys, Griego slipped her cell phone into her bra just moments before she was taken into custody, and APD says she used it to hatch a false sexual harassment allegation against her arresting officer.
Hello. Hi.
23-year-old Deanna Griego tried charming.
I'm going to school for being a police officer.
She tried explaining.
My speech impairment.
Oh, okay.
She tried lying. Why can't this motherfucking cuck Porter call it down the line? Why can't you just say what it is? She tried lying. Do you really fucking believe that she's going to school to be a police? Huh? That her speech is fucked up and you working on yeah. Do you believe that? Or are you, Mr. Cuck Porter, trying to soften the blow? Are you? Because I think that you are.
Me too. It's no big deal.
Tried to make sure she was doing everything right.
Just put your right foot in front of your left, touching heel to toe, just like this.
Left or right? Right first, right?
Yes.
Okay.
None of it went too well, though.
3, 4.
I'm gonna put you in cuffs, okay?
APD officer Jared Frazier arrested Griego for DWI. She blew a .13 at the station way.
You see, all of it was on body cam, right? She probably noticed it and didn't even fucking care that it was on body cam. It's second nature, first response for these bitches when they don't get their way to throw this shit at you to try to wipe you out.
Over the legal limit. And then she said she had to pee.
Bathroom's on your left. You're on your left? There we go.
Officer Frazier says he heard Griego talking in the bathroom, asking, quote, "How can I get this officer in trouble?" End quote.
All right.
Then he remembered Griego had slipped her cell phone into her bra back at the traffic stop.
You're not allowed to do that. Go and step out. You're on the phone. You need to step out.
From inside that bathroom, Griego argues with Officer Frazier.
What she does, she doesn't argue with him. What she does is try to give the impression to the person on the phone. You see what I'm saying? Manufacture of consent, manufacture of alibi. The person on the phone is hearing it, so they don't have any eyes on it, but they just got her word for it, right? So that they can come to her rescue and say, oh, yeah. I mean, the guy broke in and he was trying to fuck with her and blah, blah, blah. Not realizing, I think, anyways, that this is all on body cam.
Says he's violating her rights by opening that door. He points out he can't see her, but then comes this accusation.
Inappropriately touched me while I was going in the car.
There you go. You piss him off enough, inappropriately touching me. You know, having to put the cuffs on you, bitch, is inappropriately touching her in her mind. You feel me? Sexual assault allegation, false allegation. But you will have a pack of ravening feminists out there tell you this doesn't exist. This doesn't happen. Oh, it's a one-off, homie. You're using this one instance to blanket it. No, bitch. We're using the tens of thousands of instances that have cropped up in the last 15 years. Tens of thousands. And you endorse it.
The whole thing's on video, man. You can say whatever you like.
Frazier tells his fellow officers about it.
Now she's saying that I touched her while I put her in the car.
And when Griego asks for medical attention, he calls EMTs.
Basically, the whole thing's on video. She's accusing me of touching her.
Look at the EMT. The EMT's like, what the fuck? Really? Yeah. These are some crazy motherfuckers, man. They're out there.
That's where we're at.
APD says a sex crimes sergeant and detective both conducted a full investigation into those claims, and Frazier was cleared of any wrongdoing. I also talked to the APD union president tonight. She says these false allegations against police officers are becoming more common, and members of the public who make them.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean they're becoming more common? I thought that they were rare. You know, I thought that they was just a one-off. I thought that it didn't really happen like that. And if they're ballsy enough and brazen enough to do it to somebody that has actual authority and can have the law investigate on their behalf, what the fuck do you think they're going to do to you? What do you think they're going to do to you when shit goes sideways in an argument or a disagreement? Or, well, we just didn't see eye to eye. Or I wanted an excuse to get out of the fucking relationship. That's how these motherfucks think about this. Gents, don't fool yourselves. Don't fool yourselves and don't allow yourselves to be harmed. Successful Endeavors body cams saved him. You're damn right they did. You're damn right they did. Caitlin McIntyre. Hey, Hammer, hope your day and your stream's going well. Merry Christmas to you all. It is wonderful and fine so far.
Need to be held accountable. But so far, Griego is not facing any additional charges besides the DWI, though.
Ain't that a bitch? Not facing any additional charges, even though she falsely accused him of sexual assault. You see, there is no repercussion for this. It is once in a blue moon that a woman gets slapped, and I mean slapped, with something like a year, 2 years, 3 years. The one bitch, Gemma somebody, I can't remember her last name, over in England, had guys imprisoned. And after her 10th false rape accusation shows up, only then do people start looking at it and they're like, well, hey, wait a minute now. One fella, he served 3 or 4 fucking years before they uncovered the fact that she was just false allegating any man that she came across. Any man. There were 2 of these guys that were up on charges over there that had never touched her, didn't know who she was. Don't tell me about none of that bullshit. I'm not hearing it.
PD says it is possible. Reporting live in our newsroom tonight, I'm Caleb James, KOB, Eyewitness News 4.
Ain't that a bitch? It's something else, ain't it? Man. Man, David Smith, that English chick was gross as fuck too. Yeah, and it shows you the abject desperation of so many fellas out there. So many fellas. I mean, that motherfucker, that bitch was the definition of a fucking ditch pig. The definition of a ditch pig. A truck 50. Easy. Easy. The bitch cankles had cankles. And there were still motherfuckers trying to mount her. That's what I mean by control your biology. Your biology will definitely steer your ass off of a cliff if it thinks pussy's jumping over the same cliff. Get yourself straightened out, men. Don't go down that road. Oh, Success Pool Endeavors Hammerhand. What about the deflection and distraction from big name feminists that try to disprove info like this? All it does is it shoots the shit out of their credibility. That's all it does. And everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows who these scumbag online feminists are. Laura Bates. That's one. She's the most recent one that's up in the fucking news. That crazy-eyed motherfucker on TikTok, she finally got herself banned. So good on her. What was that other one? I can't remember the other one that had a hard-on for me. I have no idea. Can't remember her name. But she's still out there making propaganda. You hateful, nasty, mean-spirited fucking cunts. And that's all they should be remembered as. See this right here? See that? Monk mode. Now, I can't tell you that monk mode is great for you, that it's awesome for you. I can't tell you that. What I can tell you is that you dramatically and drastically reduce your opportunity to get fucked. Dramatically. But I can't make you. And I'm not going to sit there and try to drive it home in your head every time you hear me speak or cut a video. You have those decisions to make for yourself. What I will say, Jeff Hook, every guy needs a body cam or two. They're very cheap. They're very cheap, very inexpensive. Every man needs to mount himself with a body cam. Plain and simple. That's it. It's not even debatable anymore. Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe nope. None of that shit. It's not even debatable anymore. Angel of Destruction. Single mothers raise the simps. They might have aborted them if you let them. I don't have any say whether or not they abort their children. I have no say whether they abort their kids or not. I do have a say if they abort mine or if they attempt to. Now, am I going to stand in their way and stop them? I'll do everything legally that I can do. But that's the kind of bitch that you walk away from. And I don't shirk my responsibility. If I laid down with somebody and a child comes from that, and she doesn't want the child, I'll take the child. I'll take the child. That's taking responsibility for your actions. And that's what we preach more than anything, isn't it? Taking responsibility for your actions. There's 1,000 different things you could point at that make a man a man. But a lot of men don't like the idea of being responsible for their actions. Reese Williamson, real men value peace, quiet, and freedom. I can't get behind the real men thing. We're all men. We're all real, as opposed to what? Unreal? It's a divide and conquer tactic, and I don't like it. No disrespect to you, Reese. I'm not, busting your ass or calling you out. I'm saying that I don't like that wedge tactic. It's a wedge tactic. It's a divide and conquer tactic. It takes the weak-minded and the infirmed and puts them in a particular position. We're all real men. All of us. There ain't none of us that are unreal or fake, but there's a lot of us that don't know how to live. There's a lot of us that don't know what it means to carry manhood. It's a heavy burden. It's a heavy burden, but it can be rewarding. You just have to learn how to do it. And that's the problem with not having fathers in the homes. And that's an engineered tragedy. It's an engineered tragedy. Mountain Monk, fat chicks are great. Then the ship you're on sinks. Or they get rambunctious and roll over on you at night. Oh, bitch. Get your elbow out of my armpit. Oh, motherfucker. I told you not to do that. Oh, man. Jack. Uh-oh. What I fucked up there. Jack Severus. I think most men say real men are like me just as a back pat for themselves. I would agree with that. You know, that's a form of brainwashing. They don't think much about the meaning of the words they use. I agree with that too. And like I said, I'm not trying to, bust old boys, the OP's ass on that. I'm not. I think it's something that we need to get away from. That's a form of demonization. It's a form of vilification. You shouldn't be vilifying your fellow man, even if you don't like them. Even if you don't like them, don't attribute anything to them that they don't deserve. Jack Murphy is an admitted cuckold. Jack Murphy goes out of his way to deceive people on his business model. Jack Murphy does that. So nothing has been attributed to him that he has not engaged in. And that's why I don't attribute that kind of shit to people if it's not justified. Daniel Goff, Merry Christmas, man. Well, Merry Christmas, sir. Merry Christmas. Man on a mission. Salute. Lord, Chronic. Where was he? I didn't see him, man. I missed him. Well, that's all right. That's all right. I'll talk to him later on another stream somewhere down the road. ESP revaluation. Lots of smileys and big old mouths. There we go. Right there. Undead Chronic. Cuck Murphy is an apex level veteran of the sperm wars. I heard it was brutal. Millions of little swimmers died on the face of his wife. Unbelievable. He tried to resurrect them all by giving them mouth to mouth, then ass to mouth. It just went horribly wrong, and he ended up with shitty breath. Fuck a bitch. Fuck them all. JD Miles, I needed a good laugh on Christmas. JD, the amount of entertainment that you provide, rounding up them fucking ankle biters, sir, is astonishing. It's good. Daddy loves it. Thank you very much, sir, for doing what you do. It's a thankless motherfucking job dealing with those lowbrow, low IQ, sloped forehead motherfuckers, but I appreciate every second of video that you put out on it. I really do. Alan M. Jolly. I heard Ribby's song on Murphy, and I couldn't stop laughing, but in a good way. I have not heard that yet. And the ever-faithful Master Wrench, Successful Endeavors, has put up the Hammers Hitter Creator Teespring store. And thank you very much. And you know what I'm saying. If you want to get yourself a Christmas shirt, you can ride on over there and get yourself a Christmas shirt. I don't have any new designs up over the last couple of months. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and take my time, and I'm going to, well, I took my time before, but I'm going to take my time again and revamp the designs. And I think we're going to release a few of them at the same time and see what they do. And hopefully we'll sell a few. Hopefully. Silver Surf Studio. Merry Christmas, gents, and good night. Hammer, thanks for doing a show tonight. Much needed. You are most welcome, my friend. Thank you, and enjoy life and sleep well if that's what you're headed out to do. I appreciate it very, very much. Alan M. Jolly Hammer, you should have a listen to it. You know what, man? I probably will. 346 of y'all still eyeballing the shit out of this deranged old lunatic. Thank you. Thank you very much. 530 Fonzies. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Obscene. I'm nowhere near 1,100 concurrent views like my freshly minted friend, Undead Chronic. What a mega stream that was the other night, man. That was pretty intense. That was some good shit. It was good to get Better Bachelor on there. It was good to squash a couple of things out. And apparently it has angered a few people. And all I've got to say to that, gents, is that I appreciate the fact that you would not be happy with that. But you must appreciate the fact that I will talk with anyone if they're willing to talk. I don't debate. I don't get on to try to justify my existence because they have a problem with it. Fuck all that. But I'll talk with anyone. Anybody. And as it turns out, it was just an unfortunate selection of words and maybe not enough clarification. Better Bachelor is somebody that is decent to be allied with. The signal boost on Chronic's channel was pretty intense. You know what I'm saying? All-time record. All-time record. I remember the first stream that I ran, the very first stream that I ran years ago. 1,400 people in that stream. I was shocked for a channel that had 6,000 subs. I was shocked. Good stuff. And I have no doubt in my mind that if they start to make it a semi-regular deal, semi-regular affair, there will be thousands more that will join in. Thousands more that will join in. You cannot hold back the evolution of this man. You cannot hold back the evolution of this man. That's the new man. Now, it's not brand new. It's just daddy's got a new attitude. Men have a new way of thinking about things, a new way of looking at life. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's self-inflicted, and you have to get there in order to go where you want to go. And that's what a lot of people don't understand about that new guy. That new guy is willing to suffer the pain to get to where he needs to go. And that's freedom. That's freedom. You're only helping yourself. You're only helping yourself. Gentlemen, nobody's telling you can't go out and date, lick all the pussy that you want, although I would suggest that you look at Val Kilmer's story. You go down on the wrong bitch, your vocal cords are going to dissolve. I guarantee that's what it was. Nobody's telling you you can't do that. You can't go out and get you some titties. Oh man, they're so nice to play with. I don't think the bitches like it very much, but I don't care. They're nice to play with. Pussy's nice to rub on, you know. Turn them over and slap the ass for a little while. I was sleeping with the ex. Well, before she was an ex. Used to stick my hand under her side and then one between her butt cheeks. And she was like, you're a fucking weirdo. And I'm like, look, bitch, it's comfortable. Okay. Do you mind? If you mind, I won't. And she's like, no, I don't really mind. So I said, you're just as weird as me then. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Had a great time with it. But it doesn't define your life. You know? And you're not missing out on life if you haven't been there yet. Don't worry about that shit. Worry about stacking your green. Worry about making your way in the world because it's violent. It's insidious. No matter where you stand in the political spectrum, you know that shit is afoot. And you know that they're all looking at you. Maybe they need your support. They need it in order to continue to survive. You got to feed the machine. Angel of destruction. That's why I love Hammerhand. He answers my questions personally. Well, sometimes you were shitty to me, man. I know you got a sense about you, but you know how it is. JD, when people can't take responsibility, there should be a new trend to take those that have no free will as a joke. I agree. I agree. I don't think I would run out and, poke or prod these folks. I think there should be some type of avenue for these folks that are weak-willed to get themselves shaped up, to demonstrate, to be able to demonstrate that they can learn personal accountability and responsibility. But that, man, my God, what a tall order that is. Like I said, on any front that you look at now, as far as Western civilization is concerned, every single avenue leads directly to a sewer. Every single one, except the people that are trying not to get sucked down the fucking shithole. That number is growing. But as far as Western debauchery is concerned, Western corruption is concerned, the mocking of morals and ethics, yeah, that's a tough deal. It's a real tough deal. 2 hours and 30 minutes in, December 26, 2021. Thank you very much to the 348 of you that are still in the house, his house. I appreciate the shit out of it. I really do. Thank you very much for the 500 and almost 50 Fonzies. Hey, man, that's awesome. Free Ross, as long as you're not disingenuous, not a blatant hypocrite, and have consistent logic, I can have a conversation with you, no matter how your views or political affiliation, or no matter your views or political affiliation. I can agree with that. I absolutely can agree with that. Polska Bob, let's boost some subs. Links coming up. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. If you got other channels that you want to advertise here in the comment section, be my guest. You find somebody that's worthy, be my guest. Put them on in there. I'll gladly signal boost them. As long as they're not shit bags. No. As long as they're not pieces of dog shit. I made the mistake when I was making my first Best of the Brotherhood compilations. I made like 4 of those. And it was to signal boost all of these people that were out there. And unfortunately, I didn't do my diligence. And a few of them were definitely not our friends. And as it turned out down the road, self-admitted deceivers of men. So fuck that shit. So I definitely put my time in now as far as looking at content and making sure that there's a consistent message. I don't care if it's 10 subs or 10 million subs. That channel size doesn't bother me. I don't care about that. I care about the consistency of the message. But if they've got less than 5, 10 videos, yeah, I don't really shout those folks out. Not until they put together a body of work. Cheers. I know you guys just heard that. Sorry about that. Mr. Pliskin. Awesome sauce convo with Better Bachelor on Chronic's stream. More. I think you'll get more. As long as Joker wants to come back, I think you'll do it. My channel is open to Joker if he would like to come on. The invitation is there, as it is with any MGTOW, IBMOR, or SYSBM man. The channel is always open to you for good discussion. That's the only thing that I'm talking about, is good discussion. I am not in the habit of debating my existence or why I live and survive and thrive. Well, I might tell you why I thrive, but yeah, I don't debate my existence because somebody has a problem with it. Fuck that. Fuck that. Just like I don't debate somebody else's existence because I have a problem with the things that they say and do. I attack their points and I attack their stances and dismantle them. Take them apart. Clean them up real good. Shine them up. Put them in the packaging and ship them to fuck you land. That's where I put them because that's where they deserve to be. If you're destroying men, if you're misleading men, if you're lying about the definition of masculinity, if you're telling men that they can bunk up and take 8 inches in the ass, but they're still a great guy, I'm telling you that you've got a crossed fucking wire somewhere. That's what I'm telling you. If you're going to tell me that Roman soldiers used to fuck each other in the ass all the time and they were considered the apex of men, I'm telling you to go somewhere else because I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. I'm saying that you have to have some moral and ethical standards. And that is a problem with men. The unfortunate part about demoting men and their position in society is that it has come at the cost of their morals and ethics. It's very, very hard to find those when they're gone. Very, very hard. JD, people who have all the answers don't deserve answers because they already know everything, and let them go figure it out on their own. And on a mission, society must be destroyed in order to save civilization. That sounds very leftist to me. I don't think that society has to take a header. I think that right now, society does not have an identity. That's what I think. I think society is in a lot of trouble. That's what I think. But I don't think that we all have to go and live in straw huts and suffer nuclear winter because things are kind of fucked up. I don't believe that at all. And I don't think that it has to happen. Kill a trucker, head on a swivel. Didn't get to see the kids this season. Line of MGTOW, Undead, and Hammer helped me make it through. It is my pleasure. My pleasure. Hang on, gents. All right. It's amazing the kind of bullshit that somebody tries to drag you into at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning. It's my pleasure, my absolute pleasure to be able to sit here and talk to somebody that needs to hear it. You might not even like what I'm saying, but at least it's something. At least it's something. Hopefully you can agree with something that we say. MGTOW Cowboy. MGTOW is evolution in thought. I agree with that. Unfortunately, I see a certain section of people that purport themselves to be MGTOW not obeying any of the tenets of the philosophy. That's an unfortunate side effect of having so many people come in here to try to find their way. And we can never discount the fact that there are outright usurpers that are coming in and attempting to use MGTOW and dirty it up. MGTOW essentially, when you boil it down, is men that want to be left alone. That wouldn't seem like it's a very hard thing to do. Years ago, I told bitches in a couple of videos, I said, you're talking to the wrong people. When you're addressing MGTOW are gone. They're checked out. They're talking to one another. They're not talking to you. So if you're trying to shame them, or you're trying to tell them that they got little dick energy, or you're trying to tell them that they can't get laid, or that they're fat incels, you're talking to the wrong people. They don't hear you. They don't hear you. So go find the people that you want to address, that you can have some success at shaming, because as we all know, MGTOW don't suffer anybody else's foolishness or shame. That's just the way that goes, and that's the way it's going to stay. Transylvanian MGTOW monk. By the way, 2 days ago, I saw a guy dressed like Santa Claus, and my first reaction to my friends was, hey, look, it's Hammerhand. Oh, shit. It might have been me. Transylvanian MGTOW monk again, and they were like, who's Hammerhand? And that's what they should say. And don't clue them in. If they figure it out, then they figure it out. It just is what it is. Successful Endeavors validation boy. Hammerhand will talk with anyone. I'll talk with anyone. Anyone. Talk. Not argue. Not digress all day long. Not concede the point all day long. But I will talk with anyone. I'll talk with anyone. When it starts to devolve, no thank you. No thank you. Not interested. Channel 1800 Dumb. What happened? Val Kilmer. I'm behind on the news. Val Kilmer lost his ability to speak from a throat infection that he contracted by going down on women. That's what happened. Val Kilmer can't speak anymore. Throat cancer. So, yeah. I don't dislike Val Kilmer. He's not given me any reason to dislike him. I always thought that he was pretty dynamic in the roles that he was in. You know? That's a terrible fate to suffer. Terrible fate to suffer. And it shows how stupid and unaware people are, how much they just don't give a fuck about their own health, their own safety. Women, whether you know it or not, gents, have been pushing the STD rate through the fucking roof for the last 6 straight years. Record after record after record. And everybody seems to be kind of cool with that. Well, all I need is a rubber. Well, what are the chances that? Well, the chances are pretty fucking good that you're going to contract something from anybody that you decide to lay down with, because they ain't just fucking you, sir. Let's be real now. JD Miles, if you got a pussy and you're broke, then something is terribly wrong. Yo, there it is, right? Pimps up, hoes down. Yeah, there it is, man. There it is. Yeah, if you got a pussy and you're broke, there's the incredibly off chance that she's actually a principled, moral woman. How many of you just laughed out loud at that? Or she's just stupid. So there it is. There it is. Jeff Hook. These days, even fat chicks are entitled. Well, there's whole sections of every porn site out there dedicated to fucking blubber humping. Now, come on. I mean, the fucking pussy gash is as big as the average guy's dick. Give me a break. That's before you even get inside. Oh, man, cold chills. John Gorsuch, wire connection. I don't know about that. What did I do? What happened? Jedi Run, stack that gold and silver, gents, but don't stack too much of it now. If you've got to bug out, you can't carry all of that shit, your food, your guns, your sleeping bag with you. So get enough, but don't get too much. That's just my opinion, by the way. Badass Taco, if you fuck, you are a cuck to one degree or another. That's why I went monk, guard my jeans from the blue mayonnaise. I don't know if having sex makes you a cuck. I think that there's a huge misinterpretation by some folks about that. I think that the way that females want to present themselves for sexual conduct today, sexual contact of any kind, there's some level of cucking involved. Yeah. But does it make you a cuck outright? Do you know about it? Probably not. You probably just think that it's normal, and it's not. It's not. So, yeah, I think I agree with the point a little bit, and I don't agree with the point mostly. Davina Duckworth, HPV is serious shit. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's very serious shit. And especially the shots that they're giving to these kids now. Man, it's killing them. Or it's giving them cervical cancer. Yeah, pretty fucked up. Trini MGTOW, general rules are made for general people. Fines are only effective if you ain't rich. Siva, 222. Boom. What would happen if if every single man went his own personal way? The world would still be here. The world would still be here. The world's not going to go anywhere, but the dynamic would shift radically. It would change gigantically overnight. That's the entire point of weakening the population of men. You don't see them weakening the population of women, do you? No. They're emboldening them while they're weakening you. Do you think all of the chemicals and the bullshit that are in the average amount of food that you buy out there today is affecting the average female the way that it affects the average man? It doesn't. It doesn't. 30% drop in test levels in 40 years. Do you know what that is? That's saltpeter in the prisons, except your prison is an open air camp now. A lot of folks don't know that. Keeps you docile. In his mind, sending you an email now, Hammerhand. I would like to have a recorded discussion as it's some things that are worth mentioning. Okay. I suppose we can do that. I'll tell you when and where we can set it up. One Fast Dak. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I don't know what that is, but if you guys want to check out that link, I'll leave it up for a second. Success Pool Endeavors. Hammerhand. That was just wrong. I know. I'm sorry. Godmother like a crazy bitch boot camp. Oh, yeah. Mr. Pliskin, call me Snake. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't punch him in the fucking face. Too bad. James Bond. 007. This was a much needed live. I appreciate you folks dramatically, tremendously. Still moving in on 3 hours. 356 of you hardcore some of my bitches. 566 Fonzie. Hey man, at least I can't see the dislikes so that I don't have to feel bad about myself or fucking scumbags. Reese Williams, here. MM4356. To me, it's hilarious to watch guys I know be led around with the little head. Yeah, it's every time I see that, I don't think it's hilarious. I have a sense of sadness, like it's like a sense of resignation. There goes one more. And, for as many guys are coming into MGTOW and the red pill and the manosphere, so to speak, you're losing that many more to gynocentrism, to the biological rage. Pan-African MGTOW. Men must remember that the average woman is not his equal. Logic and emotional differ with gender. Yes, they do. And your 4 bitches were telling you that when they were trying to sideswipe your perception of Jack the Cuck King Murphy. They were telling you that there's differences, because men should be stoic and women are more emotional and it shouldn't happen that way. Fuck that bitch. Fuck them all. One Fast Dak. Thank you at Polska Bob. Daniel Goff. Thank you, Hammer. Great show. Hey, man, you're welcome. I appreciate that. Big time. Badass Taco. HPV is 70% of the population, and they have been vaxing bitches for that for a decade and a half now. I wonder why it's not working. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. And I know me getting on limbs, I shouldn't do that. Big old bitch. But, yeah, it's probably because they're fucking and sucking everything in sight. Everything. Now, I know that there's the 90-10 rule, and some of us even believe it's a 95-5 rule. Hell, just a couple of years ago, it was 80-20. But if they can't get a hold of Mr. Luxurious, if they can't get a hold of Mr. Right, they're going to take Mr. Right now home. And they'll fuck him. And then they'll cast him off. And then they'll end up with a sloppy pussy and razor bumps. Because that's how it works. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Channel 1800 Dumb. Polska, the wrench, and other brother wrenches, the lads. There's lots of wrenches in here, man. Actually, let me turn that on my end. Just take a peek. There you go. Trini MGTOW, you're responding to somebody. We'll read it anyways. At Kill a Truck, depression is there to tell you something is wrong. You got to find it and change it while alive. Fair warning, therapy breeds weakness in the long term. As a bailout, it's good. I agree with you. I didn't have an ounce of therapy or therapeutic intervention for the troubles that I suffered. None. Zero. It's because therapy is gendered, if you can believe it. There's a lot of people that don't believe it, but it's brought to you from a certain small hat point of view that really despises Christians, that despises people that believe in God in a certain way, and pathologizes them, especially from the female point of view. Just another way of control, gentlemen. If you are suffering from depression, if you know that you're suffering from depression, and you do not have the ability to self-analyze and to try to turn those switches off, then perhaps that type of therapy would do something for you. Even an encounter group, that I think that would be more beneficial. Just somebody to be there. I think that would be beneficial. But it's difficult. It's difficult. I won't lie. Jefferson County Militia, Merry Christmas, gentlemen. Long live the patriarchy. Well, just long live common sense, but it's quickly dying out. Quickly dying out. OJ Chimpson, I noticed since I get rid of all women in my life, including doctors, my life is much better in every way. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Women serve a purpose. They serve a purpose, but they have rejected their purpose en masse. They have told everybody that has ears, fuck y'all, we ain't doing it that way. If we don't want to continue the species, we're not going to do that. We don't owe you shit. We ain't going to do that either. And if I want to take all your shit when I decide basically that we're not going to work out, then I'm going to do that too. And yeah. And I say more power to them. More power to them. Give it all to them. Give it all to them. Stop resisting them. You angry males, you patriarchal bastards. Stop resisting them. Do you know why you should stop resisting them? Because the faster that they completely obliterate the species, the fucking faster it's over and done with. Not that men are any better. They ain't no better. They gave it to them. Look, somebody said in a comment the other day that I agree with. If you can be empowered, you don't have power. When women were empowered by the vote, they were given a bread basket. They were given basically a fruitcake or a football to run with, or a temporary surge of good feelings. And they traded all of everything that they had for that. They traded away everything so that they could pay fucking taxes. Well, some of them, because you know how that one goes, right? They all pay taxes, but they all receive more in social benefits than they pay in. So that makes men the net taxpayer for everyone. They gave away a great deal. Fuck them. I've always said, even when I was a blue pillar, I have always said, if somebody doesn't want me around, this particularly pertained to jobs at the time, then I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. I don't have any problem if somebody says, hey, homie, we're going to have to let you go. I said, oh, you're firing me. Like, well, I don't want to call it. I said, call it what it is. You don't want me. And if you don't want me, I don't want you. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to leave now. No, you don't want to work out the day? Nope. See you later. I'll use the rest of the day to go find another job. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Jeff Hook is Better Bachelor worth watching. Even before we had our little powwow a couple of days ago, yesterday or a day before yesterday, I would have said yes. I would have said yes. What I would have also said at that point in time was be mindful, because he has a tendency to squelch his male audience. And now that that has been cleared up, I won't say that anymore, because I haven't heard it since And I didn't hear it before the one particular incident, which was 2.5 years ago, roughly 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. But yeah, he drops a lot of good red pills. I think that he's very middle of the road. You know, he tries to stay on the good side of YouTube. And I don't care about being on the good side of YouTube. I don't care about appeasing censors and helping people steal my fucking rights from me. So that's why I don't do those things. And I speak my mind and I say what I got to say. And if we're at Hammerhand channel number 45 down the road, then that's just what it's going to be. That's just what it's going to be. You know, 250,000 subs have already come and gone on these channels. Easy. Easy. It doesn't mean jack shit. Doesn't mean anything. If you want to hear what I got to say, you'll find me. That's all good. It's all good. Pan-African MGTOW. LOL, Kings of MGTOW. What is this? I've seen this a couple of times just in this chat. I don't know what Kings of MGTOW is. So somebody's going to have to cue me in on that. Mr. Pliskin, call me Snake. I got the verbal slap in the face around 5 years old. Well, shit, man. That's something else. Something else. ESP revaluation. John Nada likes this message. And bubblegum. Battle hardened sniper. I was red pilled about 8, thanks to the piece of shit my old man calls daughter. Oh man. Well, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. Placebo effect. I think this is in reference to Better Bachelor. I think it was 15 to 18 months ago. Yeah, I could buy into that. I thought it was like 2 years. Way of the Kodiak at blank slate. Those are great men. Replacing weights with body weight and resistance is good. Your muscles and bones will still benefit. Slow down your reps and put some stress on those muscles. Yes, you do. You have to put some stress on the muscles. Davina Duckworth. YouTube numbers are an imaginary figment. I showed you that in real time. Yeah, I showed you that in real time. I showed you that they were showing you that I had 21 or 24.1K subs. And then I went to my subscribed section and it said it was 90,000. And that's not the first time that that's happened. With the termination of my first channel, I was just approaching 19,000 subs, had a 19,000 sub party and all kinds of good shit. And I went through a back door in an older operating system and I found a hidden page, and the hidden page said that I had 78,000 subs. I was shocked. I didn't think that kind of manipulation was a thing. I really didn't. I knew that manipulation existed, but yeah, these people are scum. They're scum. Make no mistake about it. Participating on this platform is enabling it. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes. Hopefully it's not all the time, but sometimes. Jeff Hook, your therapist will recommend a sex change. I don't know about all that. Caitlin McIntyre, at Thor's Day, in some states they can if you were cohabitating together, I think. I know what you're talking about, and you are correct. Battle Hardened Sniper, at Hammerhand, what are your worldwide demographics? The worldwide demographics are from almost every single country we have viewers here. Almost every single country. When I was popping the short game and mixing that in with the long form content, I was at 1 million views a day. 1 million views a day. I showed proof of that. I showed evidence of that. And then all of a sudden, a couple of months ago, my sub count flatlined and my view count dropped off the planet. And yeah. And you know why. You know why, just like I know why. It's out and out manipulation. They do not want anybody like me front and center. They don't want that. To tell you the truth, I don't necessarily want to be front and center. But there's a lot of people that want to hear what men like myself have to say. And you can only hold it back for so long before you get swallowed by it. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Dorville Gabriel in the house. Anyone know where I can find Hammerhand's Cause and Effect Part 5? I can't find it on Odyssey. I'll tell you what, I'll take a quick trip over to Odyssey and I'll get, you can go down. Actually, fuck that. Let me get into my community tab real quick, gents, if you can humor me for a second. I'll jump into my community tab and I'll get that link and I will give you the link for Part 5. I don't post a lot in the community section, so should be able to bring this right up and show it to you. And there we go. Let me save this and we'll come right back and I'll pop that motherfucker in there. Well, that didn't work out well. I guess you can use that right there. You can copy that. You can copy it in the chat. That shouldn't. Well, yeah, that's what it is. That's the entire link right there. Yep, that's the link. That's a big ass link, though, ain't it? So, yep, there it is. There it is. That'll get you to Part 5, and that has to do with that fella Jay Black that greased the two bitches that were dangling kids in front of him and using accusations, molestation accusations, to keep him away from his kids. So what he did was he decided that he's just not going to deal with it no more. So he killed the girlfriend. And then he was live streaming the confession to killing the girlfriend. And then his wife, his ex-wife, answered the door. So he murked her and then he killed himself. You know, J.D. Miles is fond of saying he took the easy way out. I think it would have been a lot harder to serve life in prison or wait on death row. And actually, I commended him for going the full measure, going the full mile. If you're going to do that, don't put it on the taxpayer. Don't put it on the taxpayer. Take care of business. There's no open ends. Everything is closed. Families have satisfaction. The only people that I worried about are the kids. That's it. Because both of the adults were clearly dysfunctional, incredibly dysfunctional, or all three of the adults. Pardon me. Yeah, it is what it is. Let me get that piece of shit off there. There you go. There you go. Slam Dunk Tiger. Slam Dunk Tiger. That's a nice name there, man. I like that. What's up, y'all? Just popped in. What's up, man? How you doing? 350. Are you crazy? Crazy some of my bitches still in here watching this old man seizure on a microphone. It's all good, man. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it down and tell you, gentlemen, to have yourselves a Merry Christmas. I hope that your day was a good day. And I hope that if you had a bad day, that you can recover from that easy, quickly, and make today a good day. Start your trek forward. Start working to make your life better. I don't necessarily mean go out and get a job and be a wage slave. I mean, start making inroads into getting what you want out of your life. You have to work that into a physical manifestation. Unless somebody's going to drop lotto winnings on you, the only way that you're going to get it is to work for it. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. In my opinion. Can't tell you what to do. That's just my opinion. Pan-African MGTOW. Like with the Kings of Comedy, the Kings of YouTube MGTOW. Oh, I see. Hammerhand, Better Bachelor, Undead Chronic. Well, I'm in good company. Thank you very much for the inclusion there. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Successful Endeavors. Hammer, could you play Cause and Effect from Odyssey? I don't think the creator would hold a copyright strike over your head. No, I don't think they would. Give me a second and let me see if I have that. I don't have that. Nope, I don't have that. I'm almost sure I don't have that. What I can do is the next time I come up on here, I can grab it and run it that way. But I think that they'll pick up on it. Excuse me. I think that they'll pick up on it and they'll strike the motherfucker anyways. Because that's what they do. Yeah, that's what they do. I'm sorry about that, SCE. I don't have it. I don't have it. I created it over there, and I think I cleared it. I didn't make another folder yet for that. Oh, goodness gracious me. Yeah, gents. Make sure that your day is going as well as you can make it go. If you don't have the means to do that, try to secure it. Legally, of course. Legally. You know, if you've got too much to hold on to and it's making the functional aspect of your life hard or impossible to live, make some choices. Cut that dead weight away from your life so that you can prosper, so that you can thrive. You don't have to be a millionaire or 100,000-aire to do this. You don't have to be that. You just have to have the ability to move and to concentrate and focus for just a little bit, just a few months, and you can set a good foundation for the rest of your year. And if you can do it for a year, you can set it for the rest of your life. It just matters what you want most. Can you control your biology enough to get past those wants and urges? It's not a need. It's a want and an urge. It's not like living, you know, it's not food, air, and water, and possibly shelter. You know, it's just biology. It's not that important. It's clear that it's not that important because everyone's struggling to kill your seed. So it's very clear that it's not that important. And you should think about that going forward. One of the things that helped me out was every time I started to get a little twingy, got a little bit of tweaking and fleeking going on. Felt like I had to brush something. I just remembered what they were. And it was very easy from that point. I remembered that it could be a false sexual assault claim. I remembered that it could be an accidental pregnancy or a deceptive pregnancy. I remembered that it could be regretful sex, and then you're in the shit one more again. It could be any number of things now. We don't even know what constitutes sexual assault anymore. It's just how people feel. Steer clear of that, man. Do you really need that in your life? I don't need that in my life. I don't need that. Everything I got in my life, I've opened the door for. Everything else, that door shuts. Gentlemen, every day above dirt is a good day. There's a lot of people this year that would attest to that. Don't cut yourself short. Don't self-delete. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I promise. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.